Welcome back to the Golazo Show, U.S. Open Cup edition. The very first of its kind, and the Golazo Network is bringing you all the goals and potentially all the cup sets. Alongside Charlie Davies, Mike Grella, Tony Meola, I'm Nico Cantor, ready to get you through all of the madness and the action in this U.S. Open Cup, one of the more beloved tournaments, boys. It's an honor to be sitting at the desk with three men who understand the fabric of soccer in this nation, and we can't get a Golazo Show started without a goal count. So I take it to you, Charlie Davies. How many goals do you think are going to be scored today in total?
26.
And we're doing, just by the way, the 9 games that we will be covering today. 8 games, because one already kicked off, right?
26. I'm going with the magic 26. I actually went with 28. Tony had already taken it, so I went to 26.
All right.
27 there, Nico. You can see it there, 27. It's a little bit more than 3 goals a game. That's where I came up with.
Wow, I went 3.5 goals a game. I went 20, the magic 28.
Yeah.
That's what I went with.
And I went low.
Yeah, I don't know why you went so
I don't
low.
know. I was doing the math, and
Too bad.
I started giving a lot of matchups, a lot of goals.
This is not a FC Naples, your team, that 0-0 every game.
But we win.
no.
But we win.
Oh my
I know that you like I know that you like the Maradona, the Pelés, and whatnot, but playing a little bit of
Did you win
Catenaccio.
versus one Knoxville?
No, we lost.
Okay,
That was the first League One.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I
but
was just wondering.
look at who's closer to the top of the table. All right, well, we're going to take a break because kickoff is just around the corner, but do not go anywhere. We have 7 games that are happening today, and we're going to be all around the nation breaking it down. So stay with us because you're going to be watching simultaneous football, or soccer, shall we call it today. U.S. Open Cup, baby. Let's do this. We're up and rolling, baby. U.S. Open Cup. 5 games simultaneously happening right now, but we've got 4 more throughout the evening. One that kicked off earlier today, about half an hour ago. Pittsburgh Riverhounds against New York City FC. Pittsburgh Riverhounds sitting 6th in the East in the USL Championship. Meanwhile, New York City FC 7th in the East. We're going to cycle through all of the games today, so sit back, relax, and enjoy your Wednesday evening. We've had so much exciting soccer throughout the week, and we just have a little bit more for you. So enjoy what you're doing. We'll do all the work for you on the Golazo Show. Heading to Highmark Stadium there, where Pittsburgh Riverhounds and New York City FC have already gotten started half an hour in on the banks of the Mon River. You see it right behind there. What are you looking forward to the most, Tony, in this one?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at this lineup, first of all, for Pascal Janssen, who comes off a big win on the weekend against FC Cincinnati. No Alonso Martinez, their leading goal scorer. Maxi Morales not involved. Thiago Martins, their top center back, not involved. O'Toole, the left back. Keaton Parks, Matt Freese, the goalkeeper, none of them. So clearly, Pascal Janssen has made a decision that he's going to rotate and see some players here against a Bob Lilly side who has been known over the years to give problems to MLS teams. It's a Bob Lilly that's been in the league for a long time. He's been here in Pittsburgh for quite some time, does a really good job with this group. And, boy, you talk about lower division stadiums with character, Nico. This is one of them here. You mentioned the river. The train will come by at some point. It's such a fun place to watch a game.
Station Square is sensational. Yeah, you mentioned Bob Lilly. He's been at Pittsburgh since 2018, a former indoor player and a George Mason Patriot. He was a 2023 USL Championship Coach of the Year. He has 23 career U.S. Open Cup wins. That's pretty impressive. From the Highmark Stadium to Lynn Family Stadium, Louisville against Minnesota United. Another USL Championship matchup against an MLS side. These two teams have never previously faced each other. Louisville City, 1 win, 6 losses against MLS clubs. Louisville City sitting in 2nd in the championship, just 1 point behind conference leaders Loudoun. Minnesota United, 2nd in the West. They are unbeaten in their last 5 games played on the road. This is another big one at Lynn Family Stadium, Tony.
Yeah, this is the palace of the USL when you talk about stadiums. They've done such a great job here at Louisville City with Lynn Family Stadium. It's fun to watch Danny Cruz, a guy that has been at this club now for a couple of years. This team has been so successful in the league, but in this competition, I mentioned in the Open, their best finish was a quarterfinal in 2018. 4 times they've been knocked out first game. So a massive night for them. Eric Ramsey on the other side for Minnesota United here is a guy that plays the 3-5-2. He sits back. He loves the counterattack. So they'll have their work cut out for him. I said, Nico, in the open, I don't know if you heard or not, this might be one to look at for a cup set.
Charlie, why do you think this has the potential for a cup set?
Because Danny Cruz has been there for so long that he has these guys drilled. They have a great identity. They play good football. And so when you're thinking about a team who's looking to take the next step, Danny Cruz has been interviewed for a number of MLS head coaching jobs. He knows in order to really gain some traction, he's got to win matches like this against MLS opponents. So I think he's got his guys ready to go, and I think the writing's on the wall.
Danny Cruz and Charlie Davies faced off in one matchup in both of their careers. You want to know how that game ended up? You'll have to stick here on the Golazo Show to find out. Let's move it on then to Tampa Bay Rowdies against Orlando City. Al Lang Stadium, St. Petersburg, Florida, the sunny west coast of the state. 0-0 to get us started just a couple minutes in. MLS teams have mostly rotated in their starting lineups to start this round of the U.S. Open Cup. Tampa Bay Rowdies sitting in 11th in USL Championship, not hot at the moment, really 1 point from the bottom of the East. They changed their coach very recently. Orlando City, on the other hand, sitting 8th in the East in that wild card berth, 7 points from conference leaders Columbus. Tampa Bay, of course, beat USL League One side FC Naples in penalty kicks to get to this stage, Grella.
Yeah, they beat your side, Nico. They did, but they're struggling. They've got 1 win in the last 8 that they've played. I got my boy there, Leo Fernandez, on the left. He actually comes home. He comes home to Long Island on the breaks, and we still play together, and it was a fantastic player.
You know, his brother plays for Naples.
Of course.
Send you a shout out.
Of course.
And I played with
great family.
At Philly.
The Fernandez, the great family. So they've got some real talent in the team. Yeah, okay, they haven't gotten going yet this season, but they got some real talent. And coming against an Orlando City that I think Oscar Pereira has been one of the best coaches I've played against in his time. He's always got his teams organized.
Poppy, we call him.
Poppy.
Tampa Bay fired their head coach Robbie Nielsen at the beginning of April after a loss to Charleston Battery. So Steve Coleman, who's their interim head coach, he's yet to win a game in regular time, by the way. He beat both Miami FC in USL Cup group stage and FC Naples in penalty kicks. There's a corner kick for Tampa Bay. Let's listen in.
Orlando City fans here.
Fans have made the trip on I-4 West over here to Al Lang. This is out for the first corner of the match. Leo Fernandez, all-time leader in appearances and assists, third all-time in goals for the Rowdies, will put it in play.
And you know Forrest Lasso is the target.
Lasso just appeared in his 100th game for Tampa Bay as this is coming towards the back post and caught easily by Javier Otero. He's played 1 game in league play this year. It was a win, made 4-6.
From downtown St. Pete, let's go to Chester, Pennsylvania, where the Philadelphia Union play at home. They're playing against in the 11th, sitting 8th in the East in USL Championship.
To the line. Olivier Bizel back in the team today. Only his 3rd appearance of the year. He's been a mainstay with this Union program. Ball in. It's a good one. Knocked out. Ale Bedoya, Mr. Philadelphia Union, fires first in 5 minutes in. It's 1-0.
Ale Bedoya, his first goal of the season for the veteran. Philly Union up 1-0.
It's his first start of the season. Ale Bedoya. It's good to see him on the pitch. And Olivier Mbizo just plays an incredible ball. It's a perfect ball, and Bedoya does what he does really well, is getting on the inside of the defender, and he nods it home. The longtime Union captain, you can see what it means to him. But it's a big time goal, early goal, I know Sean McCauley will be really disappointed with the defending there.
How many headed goals do you think Ali Bedoya has?
A few. He's a tough kid. He's good in the air.
Get on the end. I know he gets on the end of crosses at the back post, and of course he creates and gets by people in the box. But
he's very good at crashing on the weak side. He's made a career of it. Great hard worker, an honest player. So not surprised.
What's my favorite Ale Bedoya goal?
Ooh, your favorite Ale Bedoya goal? My favorite goal is his goal with Nantes
Against
PSG outside.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the one. Mid-distance cracker with Nantes.
Yeah.
My favorite Ali Bedoya goals, all the ones I scored against him.
Don't be like that. And you know what he's saying? You're here in studio and I'm still playing, Grell.
Oh, I know. Hey, credit to him. Hats off to him. Unbelievable career he's had.
What does it mean for him to still be playing at this level?
It means a lot, and I would be willing to bet this is probably his last season because he's an ultra competitive guy. And in the end, you kind of get a sense of when it's time. And, you know, for him to have his first start with the club today in U.S. Open Cup, I think it means a lot. But it's also probably signifies, man, I've been this role model. I'm kind of this leader with this new young group coming in under Bradley Carnell. And let me make the most of this season.
Philadelphia Union sitting second in the East, 2 points behind conference leaders Columbus Crew. They're walking into this game unbeaten in their last 4 games played at home. Their only loss at home this season, actually, was against Nashville. Let's go to Pawtucket. Rhode Island FC against the Revs, who have changed it up very recently with a new look. Charlie, we were talking about it in the pregame. It's 0-0 to get us started. Yeah,
and I think one of the biggest names on the team sheet today for the Reds is their DP, Thomas Shankalai, who's coming back from an ACL tear last season. He's still, getting up to speed. This is a player that could be a game changer for the Revs once he gets healthy. So I think this is important minutes for him. And also a U22 DP in Luca Langoni, the Argentine former Boca Juniors player, that needs to get into a rhythm. And so these are 2 big players on the field for the Revolution. Hey, on the Nico Cantor Golazo Show bingo card, there was an FC Naples mention and a Boca Juniors mention, and we managed to get them both in within 10 minutes. Wow. One of which I did not make, by the way. Rhode Island against New England, who is sitting on a 4-game consecutive win streak after starting the season with 1 win in their first 6. New look, new feel. Let's see if they can keep it going against Rhode Island with their Argentine front 3.
And take advantage of your opportunities if you're Rhode Island. Well, the Revs do a really good job slowing down Jojea Quizera, who's also in a pretty decent run of form as of late, but that ball is going to go behind Andrew Farrell, and that press that Connor Smith loves to chat with us about works to perfection there. It's a Rhode Island throw. And those are the types of mistakes that you haven't seen in the 400-plus minutes without a concession from New England Revolution in their last 4. And that is uncharacteristic. And, yes, this is not the usual defensive personnel. And this is a different environment for some of these players. Long throw-in from Clay Holstead. It was flicked off the edge of the 6-yard line there, 6-yard box. And the Revs will settle for a throw-in.
Grella, pop quiz.
Oh, God. Go ahead.
Which city holds the Guinness World Record for most consecutive days of sunshine? It was 768 days from 1967 and 1969.
Which city in the world?
In the United States.
In the United States. San Diego.
Wrong. Tampa Bay, and that's where we're going. Tampa Bay Rowdies against Orlando City. Al Lang Stadium. Again, Tampa Bay sitting 11th in the East, recently fired their manager 0-2 against Orlando City in the Open Cup.
In the MLS era of the club.
And it was fascinating. We were talking to Oscar Pereira about the tournament, but also the quick turnaround in the matchup. You always wonder how the preparation is. What kind of look are you getting at your opponent? It's such a unique situation. But he knew everything. I mean, he was clear about
We're going to get a card here. Danny Crisostomo will get booked for that challenge. Crisostomo has some MLS experience with LAFC. Here's what happened.
And just never gets a look at Rodriguez coming into the play. Goes to make a play on the ball. Picks up an early yellow card, especially in an area that you have to win tonight. You have to clog that middle. You have to stay compact. You have to win your duels in that space. Be tough to play the rest of this match on a yellow.
Ojeda will take the free kick. Davies waits. Ojeda. Deflected away by Tampa Bay.
Tony Crisostomo got lucky there. That was a proper cup tackle.
Yeah, look, he got into that one. I think he knew what he was doing in the middle of the field. And this Orlando side, though, putting some pressure on here. A fairly, I would say, a fairly strong lineup for Oscar Pareja's side here. Does have Angulo on the bench, Duncan McGuire, Luis Muriel. But you look at Ojeda, Ramiro Enrique up top. He's got Rafael Santos on the left-hand side, who loves to get forward. I said if Oscar Pareja came with a strong side in this one, this Tampa side could be under a little bit of pressure here. And they will have to, they can get after him on a counterattack because they love to throw numbers forward, Orlando.
Europa League and Conference League Golazo show tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. Our last Golazo show of the European season, so tune in for that one. If you love yourself a whip around show, come watch us tomorrow. But we still might have a couple more surprises in store regarding the Golazo show later on this season. Watch out! Oh, what a save!
Wow.
Pittsburgh almost got their opportunity. It's a corner kick, Charlie.
What a save. Tomas Romero up to the task. And this is Pittsburgh Riverhounds. You can see they're in behind it with their crowds. And woo, that little bounce.
Behind them.
On the turf?
Yeah.
Can we take a look at that stadium and just where it is, and what a fun place to play.
Gone for Pittsburgh. Probably the best scoring chance of the half for either side. First difficult save either keeper has had to make.
You could see that Jacqueline just was picking out that corner, and you said it right, Joe. It was the ability to, as that ball bounced, swipe his arm up to be able to hit it out. That was incredibly good, and hit that moment to time it the way he did.
Be one last effort here in the half. Ojeda just nowhere to play through right now. The compactness of this Pittsburgh back line. Minute come and gone. Cavallo, hopeful ball in, flicked away. Kept alive on the far side by New York. Overlap from Gray, out for a goal kick, and that'll do it. 0-0 we go into the break.
I think for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they've been extremely...
Heading into half, 0-0. There's Captain Danny Griffin and Salvadorian goalkeeper for New York City FC, Tomas Romero, coming up with arguably the most important moment of this first half, a huge save. We take it on over to Louisville, Lynn Family Stadium again, 3 miles away from Churchill Downs, where the Kentucky Derby went down just a couple days ago. 0-0 between Louisville City and Minnesota United.
United's in an interesting spot because they also play in Leagues Cup later on in the summer, end of July and early August. Competition they will want to show well in against Liga MX opposition. Here's McFadden to serve this one in, going back post. It's there for Amadou Dia, and driving across. Philip Goodrum got back to his feet. The ball was coming right at him, and it's still there for Louisville. Perez lifts in. Chance from outside the area. There was a foul against Amadou Dia, which will send it back to Minnesota. But Louisville City peppering Wessel Spia with some shots here.
A crossing here, Josh. Once again, a dagger ball played in by McFadden. The miss from Goodrum. He'll want that one back.
Louisville unable to show their offensive sovereignty. And it's going to be Minnesota out of the back. No one caught that? No one watched the Kentucky Derby this weekend, huh?
Well, I just know that every horse was a descendant of Secretariat.
Yeah. And you know who came in second?
Give it to me.
Journalism. But here on the Golazo Show, journalism always comes first. Louisville 0, Minnesota United.
You're doing dad jokes. You're not even a dad yet.
I'm practicing, Tone. I'm practicing. It's US Open Cup. Let me have fun. Round of 32. Here we go, Minnesota.
This is really how Louisville has played this season. Not necessarily having a lot of the ball and showing how good they can be in transition. That's just a pure giveaway there, trying to catch the keeper off his line. Wessel Spiel has it covered.
We spoke about it ahead of kickoff. In every single win for Louisville this season, they have been outpossessed by their opponents. In the 2 draws that they have had, guess what? They were the ones who had majority of possession. This is a team that is very comfortable allowing the other side to have control of the ball.
All right, let's head to Subaru Park to see what's going down between Philadelphia Union and Indy 11. Alejandro Bedoya, who leads the Union's active roster in US Open Cup appearances with 6, has scored the goal to put them up 1-0 over Indy 11.
And we're able to rescue a single point, equalizing the way of Elvis Amal late on. With that urgency, once more vacant in the first 20 minutes or so. Drifted in, Sullivan the target. Glesnes headed towards goal. And tapped over the frame. It was Damiani who rose the highest.
It's Damiani who wins the header. But if you look, there's 3 red shirts that Damiani beats to the header. Just headed across the box, not the best at clearance. There's 3 red shirts he's competing with, and somehow Damiani finds a way to win the header, guide it on target. And Charles Cooks comes up with a save there to keep his team from going 2-0 down.
Relentless right now from the
There comes. So from Philly, in Chester, we go to Rhode Island. I thought we were going to Tampa, excuse me. Let's go to Centerville Bank Stadium to see what's going down in Pawtucket. Chuck, talk to me about what they're doing in Pawtucket.
It's just a revolution, no pun intended, in terms of creating an organization that can develop talent in Rhode Island. And so it's become a feeder program now for the New England Revolution in their academy. But I think what is great about Rhode Island is that you have Cano Smith, you have Michael Parkhurst, you have great soccer brains, a goalkeeper coach and Carl Spratt, the Revs Academy is there. This is only helping clubs in that area. Bayside's a big club out of Providence that also is going to be feeding into this club. I just think they've done things right. To be in the championship game in your first season, I think that goes a long way, and this stadium's beautiful.
Yeah, Brett Johnson, the owner here, did a great job, right? He built this stadium, but he also developed the community, right? It's a commercial project in and around the area that they continue to develop. But with this club, you mentioned Michael Parkhurst, reminded me, we chatted with him, I don't know, a week or 2 ago on Call It What You Want. Actually, it was before the last round, and I love the fact that he said this is about the players, right? I want players to develop. We're okay with players leaving our club, getting better, and that's so important because this is a guy that's been through it, you know, has played all over the place and understands that concept of the game. And I think early on here, they're doing such a great job in Rhode Island of recognizing who they are as a club, what they mean in the community, and what the players need on the field.
And by experience, Michael Parkhurst had and arguably one of the best starts to his career as a center back with the New England Revolution. position, going to 3 straight MLS Cup finals. And then when it was time to leave, the sporting director, general manager at the time, Mike Burns, made it very difficult for him to leave. And so I think he's learned a lot from that process, and he's coming at it from a different angle of, this is the time for us to develop kids and send them off so they can fulfill their potential. We don't want to hold them back. That's not what this is about.
Wow, that's good football.
Two good opportunities there. New England Revolution just a couple moments ago, but Rhode Island follows it off with a chance to them. Wow.
Yeah, you can see right here, Jackson Ewell just ball watching. The ball's in between Brandon By. And next thing you know, Dequa has a good chance at goal. Just got to put those on target for a club like you're playing against a big MLS club. You got to put your chances on goal.
All right, a team that does need a revolution at the moment is Tampa Bay Rowdies. They're facing Orlando City. As a reminder, they're 1 point from the bottom of the East in USL Championship. It's a corner kick for Orlando City.
Aramayo will take the corner. The 16-year-old headed away by Lasso again. Came flying in to get rid of it. Dagger Dan. On it again, taken away, Arteaga. Trying to chip the keeper. And it's just wide. Nice idea. He saw Javier Otero well off his line, but Otero, I think, would have gotten back anyways, but it wasn't on target regardless.
Tampa's only regular time victory of the season was at Miami FC. And they're not doing so hot at the moment, despite reaching this round of U.S. Open Cup. Grell, how do you shake things off? Is it more difficult when you're facing a team from a tier above you?
I think it could be helpful, right? Because you're not expected to win, so the pressure is less, and you can work on the things and use it as a springboard in the game. They just have a chance there where they go for midfield. The ball bounced 4 times before it got to the end line. But listen, these are where you can test what you have, and obviously they have some of their top players on the field, but a result tonight would be huge for them. It could springboard their whole season.
And Grella and Tony, you both know, in this competition, the minimum is about energy, because we all know the MLS sides have much more quality than the USL sides and depth. But if they lack the intensity and the commitment in these games, that's where the quality can be overshown, right? And I think when you have Tampa Bay Rowdies playing in this manner, they're playing with that freedom. There's no pressure. And if they keep being aggressive, that's when they can cause some mistakes and some havoc.
And also, you want to play well. You know, you want to compete with Orlando, and you go up against these guys that are basically where you want to be. And I think it's paramount for them to have a good performance at the end of the day, regardless of what the result is.
Especially for the young players, right? USL is starting to find those young gems, the American players who maybe get overlooked, or it's a little bit difficult to join an MLS academy or think they should be higher than they are. So USL is finding those young players and giving them an opportunity to play first-team football, professional football. This is where you show, hey, I'm ready for that next step.
All right, so from downtown St. Pete, let's go to Louisville, where it's Louisville City against Minnesota United. We did mention that Charlie played Louisville head coach Danny Cruz once in their careers.
You want me to give you the date?
I don't want you to give me a date.
Yeah, I can give you the date.
Okay,
Wow.
challenge. Tell me in a second.
This ball driven in. A chance to meet this on the volley. Almost a connection between the two brothers as Evan Davila puts it over the top.
Oh, the Davila special. Very nearly getting Louisville in front. You see many sides around the world now really practice these on the training ground. Some teams, they have coaches who specifically train set-piece situations. Arsenal, just an example of it. And here, this is a play that they prepared exactly for this moment. And my, oh my, Evan Davila unable to keep his strike down. That would have been a wonderful hit.
It's a third consecutive game that the Davila brothers start together. They're combining with a good opportunity for Louisville, Tony.
Yeah, that's a really well-worked corner kick, clearing the top of the air, running players in the box, and then Evan Davila getting on the, I'm sorry, it was Taylor Davila. I believe it was Evan Davila with the corner kick.
And we know in competitions like this, set pieces are so important. They can be the difference maker.
Minnesota off a throw-in.
You got underneath that one.
All right, as there's a goal kick, Chuck, you're so confident about that game. Do you want the two teams that were playing in that game?
Can I give you them?
All right.
Houston Dynamo.
Yes.
DC United.
Correct.
June 25th, 2011.
June 25th, 2011.
Wow. How did you remember the date?
How'd you do that?
Why is the date important?
My birthday. I remember these things.
Wow.
You know, and that was a big season for me. And I know Danny Cruz, you know, the teams he played for, Philadelphia Union, Houston Dynamo. I know him pretty well, so I was willing to bet that was the game.
All right, you want to level up? Mm-hmm. What was the final score?
DC United wins 2-1.
Incorrect. You scored the go-ahead goal only for Brian Ching to score the equalizer. 2-2 was the final result. God. Close. That's pretty impressive, Chuck. That was 14 years ago almost.
Did you remember you scored in that one?
Yeah.
You did?
That's why he thought they won.
It is.
He got the goal bonus. He didn't care if it was 2-2 at the end of the day.
I remember being happy leaving the game, so I was like, yeah, we had to have won.
All right, this is the Golazo Show, guys. By the way, we've been cycling through 5 games that have already kicked off. One at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is Pittsburgh Riverhounds and New York City. But there's been 4 that kicked off just half an hour later. But now it's 8:05. We've got a couple more late kickoffs, including Chicago Fire against Detroit City. We're back at SeatGeek Stadium in Bridgeview, Charlie.
Oof.
Not at Soldier Field no more.
No, this is a throwback. And we spoke about Greg Berhalter and Chicago Fire, and are they going to take this serious? Well, they're starting their DP striker to let you know how serious they're taking this. Jonathan Balba's starting. Hugo Kuipers is starting. Kellen Acosta, they want to win this. Jack Elliott and Sam Rogers starting in the back. So I love that Greg Berhalter went full force saying, this is important. We want to win this competition.
Boy, I'm looking at this lineup, and, you know, Gutierrez is on the bench. Pineda, who has started a few games recently, is on the bench. But outside of that, boy, you're absolutely right, Charlie. They're going for it right now. And a team that probably needs to find a little bit of rhythm, right? They've had some good games. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster for Greg Berhalter's side. They had the massive defeat. Who was it? Nashville, 7-2 a couple of weeks ago. I mean, so they've got some things to work out, let's say. And they had the 0-0 this weekend at home against Orlando City. So you can see it's a bit of a mixed bag right now. So maybe using this, I think it's important for Greg Berhalter, but maybe using tonight just to find that rhythm.
I will say, Greg Berhalter usually has a rough patch whenever he starts out for the new club because of that style, and he's very, very consistent with that style of play, building out of the back, and he's developing players at the same time because you're questioning, hey, do you really want to play with that formation with some of those players? But he does, and then they eventually get it.
Chicago Fire are winless in 6 games played, 3 draws, 3 losses, and not only that, they're winless at home this season, although those games are at Soldier Field, a couple of miles away from SeatGeek Stadium, 12 miles southwest of downtown. Let's see how they take care of business against Detroit City of USL Championship. Another game in Frisco. It's FC Dallas against AV Alta from USL League One. So this is a 2-tier difference. AV Alta has had quite the journey to get to here. They beat Ventura County Fusion, then LAFC 2, that's an MLS Next Pro side, and then Orange County SC. Now they're finally up against, in their first season ever, an MLS team. How do you think this one's going to play out, Tony?
Looking at the lineups here, I'm just getting them for the first time for Eric Quill's side. He's made a couple changes here. Change in goal, change up front. Lucho Costa plays, and looks like an early start here.
Lucho Costa.
I mean, if Lucho Costa's playing, you're taking this competition for real. There's no question. You need to start to build some momentum. This FC Dallas side has been up and down, not consistent. So I'm not surprised that this is the way that he wanted to go out today.
Lucho Acosta, this is his 4th goal in all competitions. Of course, hoping to be Dallas's talisman. Confirming that it's Lucho, right? Hopefully you get a replay instead of
here it comes.
Sabalang.
Oh, this guy's nasty. Lucho's nasty. And now when he adds this to his game where he gets inside the box and starts getting in there and not playing games with it and starts finishing plays off, he's one of the best players you can go watch. You know, we talk about those players that it's worth to pay the ticket to go watch C. He's one of those guys. I mean, he's a cheat code when he's on his day.
It's an assist by Sabalang. That's where the camera's on him. This is FC Dallas's first match against a USL League One side in Open Cup. And our final 8 p.m. kickoff at Energizer Park, it's St. Louis City, who's sitting 13th in the West, 5 points from that wild card cutoff line against another USL League One side in Union Omaha, who's sitting in 12th in their league, 3 points from the bottom of the table as St. Louis goes charging the other way, trying to take care of business early. St. Louis, they're coming off of a 4-1 loss at Seattle Sounders. Union Omaha has played 3 games, one of which was a win against Des Moines Menace, and then they beat San Antonio FC to get to this stage. I don't know if this is the perfect setup for a potential cup set, but you never know. St. Louis on the ball.
To shapeshift throughout the season and in individual 90-minute stretches to go find a result.
Omaha had 2 wins against MLS opponents in the past, but 3 losses, 2 of which by heavy margins of 4 goals or more. Pompeo runs amok here. And both teams struggling domestically. Mentioned obviously the 7 games winless right now for St. Louis City. Familiar in the sense that
we saw Olaf Melberg there, the head coach of St. Louis City. Charlie also has played 1 career game against Olaf Melberg. You want to know the result? You have to stick around to find out, because we got to go.
Remember the date?
That's another good one. We got to go to Windy City because the Chicago Fire against Detroit. The Fire have 1 loss in 9 games played against USL Championship clubs in Open Cup.
That's all you see. Glasgow. Kwame. It's back to his right. Kwame. Glasgow. Looks for space. Gives it back. Through the right side. Hala Salasi brings it in. Chips it high into the air. Knocked away. And then on the volley attempt, it is Acosta whistling the first shot attempt of the match. Wide right.
Really great combination off the ball, movement off the ball, and looking for those spaces. And once seeing that open space to go ahead and take that shot, that's exactly what they needed to do.
How about this takeaway? And Ugo Kuipers, MLS's leading goal scorer, strikes 4 minutes in and puts the Fire out in front, 1-0.
8 goals on the season, but you blink and you missed it. I gotta be honest, I missed it. I was checking my notes, and all of a sudden, Chicago was up. Here's a replay, Tone. What'd you see?
Yeah, Saldana here, they're trying to build out of the back, and we talk about when building out of the back goes poorly for you. It's a good tackle in the end by Haile Selassie, and the ball squirts out here. Gets to the DP, Ugo Kuipers, and it's a pretty good finish right there.
That's not bad, Chuck.
That's a great
Trivella.
finish. Yeah.
Say that in Flemish.
Trivella.
All right, from Bridgeview, let's go back to downtown St. Pete. No goals between Tampa Bay and Orlando City. We're 2-0-0 against Tampa Bay Rowdies in Open Cup.
He's not going to outrun him for pace in behind. He's that hold-up attacker, so he's going to need numbers. He's going to invite numbers to be collective in what they do. What moments do they recognize and execute?
Ojeda, low cross, Orlando City breaks through in the I-4 derby. It's the 16-year-old Caraballo.
16-year-old Venezuelan Gustavo Caraballo. 16, Tom.
Yeah, this is a player, and Oscar Perez, you know, he loves the youth players. He talks about it all the time. The draft is important to him. Developing players is important to hum. And how about that build-up through the midfield? Ojeda with the ball. Caraballo comes from that. He's playing at a right midfield spot, so finding space at the top of the box. And well, poor defending must be said by Tampa Bay right now, who is in a bit of a struggle at the moment. Orlando City fans, a lot to cheer about right now.
And that's some real composure there from a 16-year-old to get that chance in front of goal and smash it home. He's also pretty big for a 16-year-old. I don't remember being that big. What's in the food and the water these days with some of these kids? Lamine Yamal, this guy. And he's only played 4 minutes maximum in a league game this year. He's played 11 minutes total this season. So what a boost of confidence for this young player.
Way to take advantage of your opportunity. All right, let's go check out the Revolution in the birthplace of the American Industrial Revolution, Pawtucket, Rhode Island. No goals between these two teams. 9 minutes left to go to half.
Contact, and the referee says play on.
So, of course, the first Open Cup game to be played in Pawtucket, Rhode Island since 1942. Of course, the first ever final of, at the time, the National Challenge Cup, now Open Cup, was played in Pawtucket as Rhode Island have a chance here. New England score! Off the ricochet! It is the aforementioned Tomas Chocolai who scores the first ever goal at Senegal Bank Stadium. Rhode Island had a chance to clear it. The Rabs take full advantage, and the side from Major League Soccer land the first blow in this round of 32 Open Cup tie.
It's Tomas Chancalay. His first goal of the season. Maxi Urruti putting in the work, getting stuck in from the Argentine to the Argentine. Great finish, Chuck.
It's a fantastic finish, and he's known for his shots. He's got so much power in his technique, and here he just rifles it with the left foot between the keepers. So gets a little bit of a deflection, but so important for him. You can see what it means to him. The road to recovery can be a long one with these long-term injuries, so I'm so happy for him.
All right, let's drive down I-95 from New England to southern Florida, back to Al Lang Stadium. Tampa Bay Rowdies are winless at home this season, and they're already down 1-0 35 minutes in with a goal by a 16-year-old Gustavo Caraballo.
And you could see what this Orlando City side and Oscar Pereira are excited about. Obviously disappointed that they don't have the goals to show for the work that they're putting in. Turnover here.
Caraballo again! He has a first half brace! Separated by only a couple of minutes. He just got his license, and he's got a first half brace in the round of 32 of the Open Cup.
He can barely drive, but he's driving Orlando to victory. Grella, at 16 years old, in your first professional start, a brace in a matter of minutes.
Clean, confident, composed in the box. These are all things that 16-year-olds normally don't have, but shows up in the right place at the right time. Obviously, Tampa Bay Rowdies not having a good start this season. It's Leo Fernandez that gets pickpocketed in there. He wants to get on the ball. And then Caraballo, what a start to this game. 2 first-half goals, looking really good. And he's going to, Charlie just said, for a young player like that, gain confidence, gain momentum. Really good start for him.
I love the timing that he has at such a young age. Sometimes it's really difficult because you're so eager, you want to impress, but he times it perfectly with that run. And then the finish, because you could hit the ball hard, you can try and blast it, but it was placed along the pitch. Really well done job.
Pretty impressive from a 16-year-old, taking advantage of the opportunity.
His stock is going up.
We're back at the banks of the Mon River. Pittsburgh Riverhounds, New York City FC. Any subs to get us started in this second half?
Doesn't look like at the moment, Nico.
I do think Larson has come in, and Julian Fernandez has checked in for New York City. Tone?
Yeah, mine's not updated here. Yeah, it looks like he is. He was the goal scorer on the weekend, right, for NYC as well.
Yeah, and that win against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Oof, what does New York City need to do to get it really sorted in these next 40 minutes?
Well, I think continue to put pressure on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh at home is going to be tough, right? They know how to play in this stadium. They know how to play in the turf. A really organized Bob Lilly side. Moments like this, good runners in the box, good numbers. That's a good build-up from NYC. More of this they will need. Then you got to prevent the counterattack because Pittsburgh will get after you.
Yeah, the savior for New York City in the first 45 minutes was the goalkeeper from El Salvador, Tomás Romero. Speaking of Salvador, let's go to the home of the Salvador Dalí Museum. St. Petersburg, Florida, where Orlando's up 2-0 already.
Yeah, you have the experience of Fernandez and Arteaga. They just haven't been able to connect.
Santos puts it across! Orlando City is flying in the first half. Ramiro Enrique makes it 3-0.
Orlando City just showing their variety, showing how multi-dimensional they can be as a threat. This half space for Orlando City has been exceptional. The ability to unlock the space, but also what that space triggers, the runs, the layers, the timing.
First goal of the season for Ramiro Enrique, Tone.
Yeah, good play. We see Rafa Santos always getting up and down that left-hand side. Good ball played in. Enrique is a guy who starts sometimes comes off the bench. And, of course, if you want to give yourself a bit of a boost, you score goals in games like this. Oscar Pereira will be happy with that run and that finish.
Yeah, Nico, listen, when they ask you if you want a business, they ask you, does it make money and is it repeatable? And that makes money and that's repeatable. They scored 2 goals almost the same way. Ball goes through ball across the box, cutback position. Fantastic goal from Enrique.
Did you know this, Grella? Ramiro Enrique's dad played with Maradona.
Ooh.
Hector Enrique. He played with him at the 1986 FIFA World Cup. His father's a World Cup winner.
Wow. My father's a chef.
Yeah, a really good one, too.
Started as a dishwasher, and now he's a chef.
Incredible story. What can you cook, bro?
Nothing. Not a good cook at all.
At least Ramiro learned a little bit from his father, huh? All right, let's head over to the home of the National Soccer Hall of Fame, Frisco, Texas, where FC Dallas is up 1-0 against AV Alta from Antelope Valley, California.
Pajaro, 24 years old. That one bumped off of Farrington, who muscles it away. Now plays through the middle. Logan Farrington weaving through defenders, and it's ripped away. Lay does well there for AV Alta. Breaking lines played long, way too long. Trying to catch the keeper off his line. He's off. It's a goal. What a smart play for Avialta! It's Lay!
Lay from way downtown, from Dallas, basically, Grella. It's 1-1, Avialta.
Give this one to Grella. Let's hear what he's got to say. Let's take a guess.
What an opportunistic finish. We've seen them from midfield. We haven't seen them quite 10 yards behind. I think that's where this ends up happening. Great vision to see the goalkeeper probably not ready. I think he miscalculates. It takes a funny bounce off the turf. Oof.
Why doesn't he attack it?
Korodi won't be happy there. He'll be really upset with that. I think he gets stuck in between where he thinks, oh, maybe I should go for it. Maybe I should go back and get it. Takes a little skippy, wet bounce there, and what a goal from Osvaldo.
That's one way to score your first goal of the season. Sensation for the Panamanian. I mean, Tony, I got to go to the goalkeeper on the desk.
Yeah, look, you're out of the box where you should be, right? But you have to recognize if the ball's bouncing up, you got to start to recover. You hit the nail on the head, I think, though. Why he didn't go and attack the ball. It's so easy to say from here. Why he couldn't take it out of the air. Maybe he was already retreating back. But that's a really good finish in the end.
Chuck.
Clever.
Chuck. Instead of that smirk on your face, I want to hear what you have to say.
When a player's winding up like that, you know what he's going for. You're off your line as a keeper. You have to anticipate it. He also knew that there were no runners, so he could have come out to take that touch. You also know, as a professional player, we understand the grounds that we're playing on. You have a good sense. Does the ball skip? Is it wet? Is it slick? You get that sense from the warm-up. So this is a real missed opportunity from the Dallas keeper, because these are things that you should know, basics as a keeper, Tony. I think it's just a disappointing play.
Bad goalkeeping or a good goal for you?
Bad goalkeeping, but phenomenal goal from Osvaldo Lay, because you have to take these opportunities.
Both.
It's phenomenal. The skip is very fortunate, though, the bounce.
Yeah, Lay thinks he's going to do it on the fly, by the way.
Yeah.
Which, credit to him, I can't even reach from there. So credit to his hamstrings that they're all still intact. But it just so happens to be it's a funny bounce and ends up beating the goalkeeper, Kolodi. He's not going to be happy with that. He's going to look at that and be really upset.
I mean, it looked like it bounced off of the turf. Here in Rhode Island, there's actually turf. New England is up 1-0, reaching the end of the half. And there you have it. Chancalay with a goal for the Revs that puts them up 1-0 against their New England rivals, Rhode Island FC. That game's headed into halftime, so are most of our 7:30 p.m. Eastern time kickoffs. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the Golazo Show. Hey, welcome back to the Golazo Show. We're at Highmark once again. Second half has been underway. New York City has been unable to break this deadlock. Pittsburgh Riverhounds at home, who have been so good holding on. Half an hour left in this one. And here's Pittsburgh.
Let it breathe a little bit and set play.
Fed through, nice combination play here. Flag stays down. Save made by Romero. It would have counted for Pittsburgh. It will be a corner. Dangerous moment coming through Danny Griffin once again.
This is a great third man run as the ball is played, penetrated by Walty here. There's a third runner from Griffin getting in, and give credit to Romero. He has come up with two very big saves. This one in the second half just closes the space, closes down the angle, but a great opportunity out of buildup.
It's always difficult for a goalkeeper as well to snap in when you haven't been very active. From the corner, swung in on the volley. Left something to be desired there from Jorge Garcia.
You make a good point, Joe, because Dick has been very good on the opposite side for the Riverhounds. But for Romero, when you have as much possession, it is very hard to stay focused at times in those moments and come up with big saves, especially when they're not playing back through him as much in build-out like they are here.
Especially for a goalkeeper who hasn't seen much action as of late. This is his first appearance in 2025 with the first team. Fed through, Ojeda lost it. Well done by Suber to cut it out.
Wow, Romero with a huge save. He's been critical for New York, Tony.
It might take just one breakdown.
This Pittsburgh side, they can play. They're at home. I told you, they're organized. Bob Lilly will always have his team up for games like this. It's a bad turnover here. And give him right back.
Quickly, let's go to Energizer Park. There's a free kick for St. Louis. Still no goals between their game against Union Omaha of USL League One.
Off the wall. Did the job toward all the Open Cup banners. The fans have assembled. You have to think, young goalkeeper turns around and looks at the Capo stands, and they are packed with all the teams in St. Louis who have vanquished teams just like this. Corner for Pompeu. Pompeu offering, sneak all the way by. Ostrak ricochets down. Betcher chasing, was in an offside position when the shot was taken.
I think Tomas Ostrak was a bit surprised.
Right around when this game was getting started, we did mention Swedish head coach of St. Louis City, Olof Mellberg, who's not doing so hot at the moment, really. They're won less than 7 games played. What we did mention, though, is that he did play our very own Charlie Davies in 1 game in their career. Chuck?
U.S. versus Sweden.
Correct.
In Gothenburg.
Correct.
Late fall. Fall?
Yeah.
August, yeah.
Of what year?
2007.
Correct. Final score?
1-0 Sweden.
And who scored?
Marcus.
Nope. An alliterative name. First name starts with the same letter as his last name. Played in France.
Did he play for Bolton?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. That's off the top of my head. He played for Lyon.
He played for Lyon. Oh, yes, left-footed. Also played for Arsenal on loan. Oh, it's coming to me. I'm drawing a blank.
Kim
Källström.
Kim Källström.
I'll tell you what, too. That's Anthony Fontana. That you couldn't remember his name, and you got this great memory. You remember what you wore in 2007. You couldn't remember this, your buddy's name.
Hey, and I got Zlatan's jersey after that game, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, we take it back to Highmark Stadium. It's been a contentious game between Pittsburgh Riverhounds and New York City FC. They are winless in 5 of their last 6 away matches. They won their last away match against Toronto on the 26th of April.
Make their mark if given the opportunity. Turned over. Chance here for New York. Fed through. Hannes Wolf goes for a goal. It's just wide. That's been his best look of the night, and it did not miss by much.
Well, it was a forward-thinking run from Wolf, being able to get beyond the ball. But again, it's a mistake in the build-out area right here, trying to come inside with Zamanu. The one-touch pass, this little layoff to the side, it sets up Wolf very well, trying to tuck it into that corner, but just gets around it. Too much bend on the finish.
Let me set it up. You go to get deep dish pizza and Italian beef.
Deep dish is famous in Chicago.
There you go. Let's go to Bridgeview, Illinois then. Chicago Fire against Detroit City, 1-0. Kuipers with the goal there. What's Chris Brady doing? Got a red card at the weekend, by the way. In that draw against Orlando. Chicago actually didn't do so bad with a man down. They didn't win, but their goalkeeper. In Spanish, you say catching butterflies when the goalkeeper comes
What's
out
the
to do
saying?
that.
How do you say it?
Cazando mariposas.
Cazando mariposas?
Yeah, it's like you're catching butterflies with a big net, you know? Just waving your hands in the air. And we incorporate our very last game into the Golazo Show US Open Cup edition. It's Austin FC against USL Championship side El Paso Locomotive, managed by former Houston Dynamo coach Wilmer Cabrera. Austin FC sitting 6th in the West, 10 points from conference leaders Vancouver. El Paso Locomotive, they're sitting 5th in the West, 4 points from conference leaders San Antonio. Lineups down there at the bottom. El Paso Locomotive. Haven't seen the lineups yet. I wonder if Wilmer Cabrera's son is starting. He's been on fire for El Paso Locomotive. We'll get our answer in just 1 second. He is on the right-hand side. Scored a hat trick this weekend in the win over New Mexico United.
It's got to be a great feeling as a father to be coaching your son and have him have that type of success.
Tony, by the way, played Wilmer Cabrera twice in his career.
Don't ask me the date, Nico.
I shouldn't ask you the score either. We're going to take a break here on the Golazo Show. 9 simultaneous games, but don't go anywhere. We'll get right back to the action when we get back. Hey, welcome back to the Golazo Show US Open Cup. 9 simultaneous games in the round of 32 on this Wednesday. We already got a couple results from Tuesday, and we're flying now into Wednesday's action. Speaking of flying, let's fly like a butterfly and sting like a bee, heading to the birthplace of Cassius Clay, aka Muhammad Ali, Louisville, Kentucky. It's a corner kick for the home side.
The start of the opening half of play. Let's see if they can go to goal out of this.
Third corner kick for Louisville. Flicked across the face of goal. No nonsense defending from Kieran Chandler, and out for another corner kick. Many of the players signed to short-term agreements are rookies, have played for Minnesota United 2 so far this season, but just coming out of college a year ago, and now right into the pro game and getting a chance with the first team tonight. In swinger, put right on top of goal. Wessel Spiel able to bat it away. The clearance deflected by Amadou Dia. It ends up out of play, and it looked to be a corner kick, but the referee points for a goal kick. Dia was sure that deflected off the Minnesota player.
And seeing the look on Dia's face, he cannot believe this. Let's take another look at it. Once again, Spiel strong in the air, and really able to see it from that angle, but Dia was pretty confident, and that should have been another corner.
12 miles southwest of downtown Chicago, we find ourselves in Bridgeview, Illinois, for Chicago Fire against Detroit City, who are 1-1-1 against MLS clubs.
It's taken away, however, and a run being made here. Haile Selassie sends it over. Kuipers watches the slide of Ryan Williams erase that. And yet again, every time that Detroit has a little bit of possession, Chicago is ready to pounce.
Great counterattack by Selassie, running at the back line, and movement from Kuipers, right? This is where experience comes in. He's going to make those runs in behind, overlap. And that's when you really confuse the defensive line.
Boiling point here for Chicago as they eye a second goal in this first half. Haile Selassie shoots it in. Kuipers angles it around, and it's an own goal. On the redirects, Darren Smith gets a foot out there. Chicago adds a second, and a 2-0 edge 10 minutes before halftime.
An own golazo. Charlie?
Defender, late reaction. He's facing his own goal, and typically when you're in that type of position, it's really difficult. You're trying to make a last-ditch effort, and unfortunately for Detroit City, finds their own net.
Darren Smith has 9 goals this season for Detroit City. Let's give him a 10th here. Own goal, not great. Again, Detroit City.
That's dirty, Nico.
Sorry. They went through Westchester SC at home, 3-1, where Smith got a goal in that to get to this instance of the U.S. Open Cup. What are you guys looking at me all smug? I was just trying to make a joke. It's the U.S. Open Cup. Have fun. We take it back to Chester. Philly leading 1-0 with an Ale Bedoya goal.
And if there's other good news for the USL sides around the competition, word coming in, AV Alta has drawn level against FC Dallas on the road, trying to do much the same as Malik Foster. Cut in! Level at 1-1. Elvis Amo steps center stage and shakes the whole thing up.
And we spoke about this just before the halftime break. If Indy 11 can come out fast in the second half and catch Philadelphia sleeping based upon how comfortable we were in the first half, there's an opportunity to get the equalizing goal. And Foster's done exactly that. A little bit of purpose, a little bit of intensity, driving forward with the ball, squares it across goal, and Amo arrives at the right time. Little fancy finish, to be fair. He's going to enjoy that one. Ties things up for Indy 11.
Elvis Amo, a championship stalwart, has 3 Open Cup goals. They all came with Hartford Athletic in the 2023 season. He has now scored a cheeky goal for Indy 11, coming off of a brace this weekend against Detroit City in a 2-2 draw. He's got his goal for Indy 11. Chuck?
Yeah, what's confusing there is Nathan Harriel, who came in for the second half, was way out of position. And so Malik Foster, recognizing all of that space, runs into it, well-timed, stays on side, and he could have continued to dribble, and he plays an incredible ball across, unmarked. Elvis Amo, just all he has to do is caress it home with the back heel, and now we're level on score. That was just poor defending from the Union.
So Elvis Amo now has a goal in Subaru Park in the Open Cup, just like Grella. Grella, you got 1 goal.
Do I have a goal here?
At Subaru Park, yes. Wow. Obviously against Philly Union, you scored 2
Guessing
goals.
You don't remember the date.
No. I don't remember the goal. I don't remember the. Was I even there? You sure it was me?
It bounced right back out as a cross into the box. No one was able to get to the end of it, and you just kind of went in, took a shot, put New York up 1-0 early in the game. But guess who scored a brace for Philly to turn the game around and progress to the next?
Bedoya, maybe. No.
Chris Pontius.
Ah, Pontius. Yeah.
CP13.
All right. Check out what's happening at Pittsburgh, New York City FC.
Taken away. Oh, taken down. Will that be a foul? Will it be a card? What color will the card be? It's red. It was a last man situation. That changes the equation drastically. Pittsburgh now up a man. Tanasiewicz sent off.
So Rodrigo Albuquerque, the referee, deems it a denial of an obvious goal scoring opportunity, and Tanasiewicz sent off. Poorly taken care of there, really bad.
Too careless.
He was in gear 1, taking it easy, didn't even check his shoulder. Of course you're getting pressured, and then he knew what he was doing here once the ball was taking a touch. Right there, I'm taking the red card.
I'm sorry. At Highmark Stadium, they're playing bye, bye, bye. For Tanasiewicz, as he's getting a red card. This is sensational. We're going to bring in...
too lackadaisical.
This is U.S. Open Cup. I'm glad we're getting this.
Let's talk to a resident laws expert, Christina Uncle. She also agrees that this should have been a sending off due to a denial of an obvious goal scoring opportunity. Christina, what's up?
I'm just over here kind of remembering the dances when I was young for bye, bye, bye and how that process went. But no, this is definitely a red card for denying obvious goal scoring opportunity. The only thing you're going back and forth slightly is whether or not he had the opportunity to get to the ball. But when you freeze frame at the point that the contact's made, the ball is within frame of him to be able to get to it before the goalkeeper. But if anyone's debating that, don't debate that anymore. Just take it, screen print it, and then we're good to go.
Oh, Pittsburgh can't make the most of it. Thank you, Christina. And you talk about the freeze frame that you're watching on the replay. The referee got it absolutely right. Rodrigo Albuquerque, he doesn't have VAR, right? He needs to make the call then and there.
I think in the end, that's an easy one, right? He also has an assistant referee that's got not much else to deal with, right? So he'd have seen everything clear. He got that one spot on.
All right. Taking it to the city that was the former home of the Red Sox's AAA affiliate, Pawtucket, here in Rhode Island. It's a Tomas Chancalay goal that has New England Revolution up 1-0 away.
Route. You're going to control possession in the second half. That's how New England wants to play it, so you might as well take chances like that.
The Revs trying to win the ball back high up the field. It doesn't work out this time. And on the far side, Noah Fuson drives forward and finds Maxi Rodriguez! Rhode Island opened their account at Centerville Bank Stadium with a marvelous finish from Maxi Rodriguez. Rhode Island have equalized against the Revs in the Open Cup. It's one each.
Maxi Rodriguez, a second goal on the season, and we're even at Centerville Bank Stadium, Charlie.
And this is a
energy
placed
ball.
Come on! Because I'm looking at this play.
Wow.
How is he alone at the top of the box? You can see the Revs player is out of position here, and it's an incredible finish. The young player coming into the game, Liam Butts, not there to provide some sort of cover. And next thing you know, Maxi Rodriguez, first touch, places it perfectly inside that right post, and now we're level. I love this because we're getting to see the energy of this game. It's going to become much more loud, and you see the flares and the smoke. Let's go.
Let's put a little shine on that assist for Noah Fuson as well, right? Picking him out at the top of the box. There was a little bit of pace on that ball.
Or it was Eric Klein that was in behind, playing defensive midfielder here. He was the one who wasn't in position to protect the top of the 18, and you got to give credit to Maxi Rodriguez for finding that soft spot, and what a cross.
What a golazo. A woman who knew a lot about scoring golazos was Carly Lloyd. This past weekend, she got inducted to the National Soccer Hall of Fame in Frisco, Texas, and that's where we take it. FC Dallas against AV Alta. We got a golazo from way downtown from AV Alta to put Dallas on their heels.
For AV Alta.
He's a good defender, Pajaro. I said early on, he's played football at a very high level in Colombia. Was brilliant against Orange County, so it's a tough night up front for those forwards. They're not getting much joy trying to get past that AV Alta defense.
Kaik. Gotta be careful there. Alisson is already on a yellow. Nice ball. Here's a shot. Kaik! The Brazilian scores. FC Dallas leads again.
Good finish from Kaik once he got through. We're just saying they hadn't got behind the defense. Well, they did there. Lovely little through ball. And Kaik tucks that away. Gives the goalkeeper absolutely no chance whatsoever. Denzel Smith, it's got power and it's got strength behind it, but it was here Lucha once again just pulling the strings, looking for options, plays that ball in. Now here's the crucial one that gets played in from Sabaleng, and he gets Kaik away, and when he does, look at the finish. High, powerful, back of the net. They got through it long.
And Sabaleng now has 2 assists. He's not the goal scorer, but it's Kaiki, former Gremio player. Doesn't get too much playing time in MLS and has Dallas up 2-1, Tone.
Yeah, it's a well-worked goal. Eric Quill there on your screen. First year manager for FC Dallas will be happy with that build-up. They gave up that goal a little bit earlier to AV Alta from distance. Now they get themselves back in the lead here.
How about Lucho Acosta holding off a body quite literally on top of him?
And then while the body's on top of him, then he puts the foot on top of the ball and rolls it. Meg pass, which, by the way, that unlocks the play. And then there's the assist and the finish. Really good running from Dallas. And it's a team, though, that struggles defensively. They concede 19 in the last 11 games. So let's see if they can hold on.
You mentioned Eric Quill's side of FC Dallas. Tony, you actually played with Eric Quill on 2 different teams.
Sporting Kansas City for sure, and then the Metro Stars. Yeah.
Now, do you have a winning record or a losing record with him on the field?
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know the date, Nico.
You want to know your record? 17, 15, and 15.
It's a winning record. Wow, we played that many games together.
You played a lot of games. You played 2 seasons and a little bit at Metro Stars. All right, so from Frisco, let's go to St. Pete. Ooh, nice goalkeeping there. Orlando up 3-0, a commanding lead against a team that they've played 7 times before and have walked away with 7 victories.
Another weapon for Oscar Pareja in the attack once he returns to his form. Over the top, McGuire. McGuire gets to it. Duncan McGuire! Determined and finishes 4-0 Orlando City.
For Duncan McGuire, it's a first goal of the season, subbed on for Ojeda at half. It's Orlando 4, Grell, Tampa Bay 0.
Robert Castellanos won't be happy with the defending here. Too easy, 4-0. They started the season 1-1-5, and it's just getting worse now in the U.S. Open Cup. They're all but out. And you see the little play, the give and the go, but it's really poor defending, and then slots it. McGuire with the finish. But again, watch here, the center back. He just slow to react, slow to defend. Then he's late again here, almost causes a penalty. And McGuire says, thank you very much. I want to play against this guy every week.
And this is a forgotten man. Remember the hype that was around Duncan McGuire leading into the Olympics. Blackburn in the championship.
Deal, right?
The deal didn't go through. But
on decision day, on the final day of the transfer window.
Yeah, and he has had a quite the fall. And so can he reestablish himself? I know maybe Orlando were looking to trade him. He hasn't played that much, very seldom with Orlando this season. So can he get himself going and then find himself in a better position come the second half of this season?
Yeah, so it looks like the city of St. Petersburg will be bidding adieu to the U.S. Open Cup, a city that has actually had U.S. Open Cup glory. A team from the area named the St. Petersburg Kickers won the U.S. Open Cup in 1989. They were the first team from Florida to win the U.S. Open Cup. It's them and Orlando City, the only 2 Florida champions. We take it back to Station Square. Pressure is on New York City FC, playing with 10 men.
In regular season play, has a goal to his name. Now in a game that could be more stretched, it suits him and his style. Double-digit goals in 4 of the last 5 seasons in USL. In behind, numbers again now for New York. Fernandez calling for it, fed his way! That'll keep him up tonight. That will keep Fernandez up tonight.
And there's one thing, you want your front runners to be relaxed in front of goal, but this was too relaxed by Fernandez in this finish. A great first touch to get behind the back line. This is a perfect ball. That's one you walk in. He has to come across it. He doesn't come across it. I don't think he's opening up on purpose. It was almost just a little bit lax in his finish, but that is a big miss.
Left-footed player.
That's got to go in, Grell.
Mamma mia. Big miss. Fernandez off the bench as well. You wonder what his preparation was like. Was he ready to that? But he got so casual in the finish there and just went limp and misses the whole goal. You gotta hit the target there, Chuck.
When man down, that's one they needed.
Julian Fernandez, who scored the winner at the weekend against Cincinnati. What are you laughing about, Chuck? 3 goals. That would have been his 3rd goal of the season.
Grella said my man went limp in front of the goal.
He did. He went limp already.
Somebody pulled the plug.
Yeah, he's absolutely. To use a Grella Manapia, you gotta smash that. You can't go.
Yeah, look at this right here, Charlie. Right here. He goes limp. Right here.
No, it's not limp. It's just careless. He thinks this is such an easy chance. He doesn't put that focus as that ball's coming across the turf. He didn't go limp. My man he just miscalculated.
The ball kicked in.
He wasn't doing that at Vélez Sarsfield, let me tell you that.
I've seen him have some really memorable performances in MLS. He's had some really nice moments, but that's one you want to forget.
All right, we're back in Texas. Austin against El Paso. Oh! El Paso Locomotive.
Whoa! Offside.
Oh, offside.
Look at those kicks, by the way.
Those are actually very cool.
Yeah.
Hit us up and look at Wilmer Cabrera.
Wilmer styling. El Paso styling.
¿Qué pasó El Paso?
The wry smile of Wilmer Cabrera knew exactly what that was about. What a chance, though. Once again for El Paso, continuing to impress in the final third.
Flag goes up, denying the effort, but they may be on here. Avila! El Paso Locomotive chugging into the lead.
A deserved lead it is. That's what this front three can do. So technically gifted and quick on the dribble. Avila just opening them up. And the Locomotive fans in attendance. Not quite going loco just yet. It's a little early for that, but what a start for the visitors. Here goes Moreno off to Avila. Skip.
The team from the border is up 1-0 in the capital. Avila gets a 4th goal of the campaign in all comps. They were knocking on the door moments ago, and they're up 1-0.
What a nice finish at the near post. He fakes the pass to the overlap, cuts inside, creates a little space for him, and is able to tuck it at the near post. Fantastic from Roberto Avila. And the kid is looking nice.
Yeah. An old-fashioned finish. Speaking of old-fashioned, let's go to Louisville. No goals. Let's get a goal here.
Louisville City have done a good job of making it difficult for Minnesota to hold on to the ball in midfield. The passes always need to be rushed. Always losing ground. An opportunity here, though.
Randall cuts it back for Chandler. Show up and Kalov. More time on the ball for Minnesota. Jung working through the middle, connecting with Song Bin. Cross back post, and it's finished! Darius Randall breaks the deadlock. 1-0 Minnesota.
A 17-year-old Darius Randall getting the goal for Minnesota. We wanted the goals. We got him now at Louisville City. A kid who's usually playing with Minnesota United too.
Yeah, Song Bin here, who's not getting a lot of minutes under Eric Ramsey. Gets a ball played through, good cross to the back post, and the youngster made no mistake about it.
It was a great run, Tony. Into that space, good timing, and the delivery hard, firm across the box, and it's a good finish from the 17-year-old. Julian Fernandez could learn something from that, right? Not going limp.
All right, let's take it to Pittsburgh. It's the first meeting between these two clubs. For the Riverhounds, their last MLS opponent to visit the Highmark Stadium was DC United, and they lost in extra time to them.
Space in behind, drops it back. Robbie Mertz barreling through, squares it through, comes all the way out for a hit through the traffic at the back post, waiting to be touched home. Instead, out for a corner. Danny Griffin was wrong-footed and about 2 yards away.
Well, and this is a great build-up. It was an underlapping run, finding Mertz. He goes in the 1v1, just tries to cut it back. Everyone has overrun the ball. Biasi steps up, keeps it alive, and just not able to get his feet right. But there's a final corner kick for them to go for.
Griffin was right there, not meant to be for Pittsburgh. This has to be it for regulation. From the corner, the header! A winner in Pittsburgh! Bradley Sample forever a Riverhounds hero.
What an absolute moment for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. They have great play to earn this corner kick, and then this ball is played perfectly into the backside. It's headed straight back to the back post area. The technical execution on this header can't be overstated. What a great goal.
They were waiting for the
We got a cup set, baby! Pittsburgh Riverhounds, who had that historic run into the quarterfinal just a couple years ago, dreaming they could do the same thing again, and the high mark has set the highest of marks. New York City FC out of the U.S. Open Cup, Grill.
And we owe Ali Trost-Martin an apology because she said you got to just stick around and we get our first cup set because Pittsburgh just stuck around and get something from a set piece. I thought they were fantastic all night, organized. Chuck made the point. He goes, they're playing music during the corner kick. They were blasting rock and roll before the corner kick even happened. And then it's knocked in from Wiedrak to awesome finish there. He gets on the back post, rips the shirt off, shows the muscles. It's going to be party in Pittsburgh tonight.
You look at the red card. The red card is what did this team in. They had the opportunity to still go up 1-0, and Pittsburgh get the win.
Bob Lilly takes down the 2021 MLS Cup champions. A cup set. We didn't get it yesterday. We get it today on the banks of the Mon River at Highmark Stadium. There is Bob Lilly, who's been at the club since 2018. A huge moment, a 20th assist in his Pittsburgh Riverhounds career for Mertz, who sets up the goal scorer, Beto Idrak.
Wow, what a moment for Bob Lilly and this club. They should do such a great job here in Pittsburgh. Good corner kick played in, and Wiedrak gets up over everybody and finishes.
So from Pittsburgh, we go to Chester, 246 miles east of where we were is Subaru Park, where it's a contentious debate between an MLS side and a USL Championship side, perhaps cup set number 2.
And this is what we spoke about, sometimes that resting approach. If this game now, if you now need to start bringing in your starters and the game now goes to extra time, the consensus to essentially rest players now becomes null and void because now they've got to play longer, they've got to go through throttle. Now they're recovering it a little bit short going into the next game. So that's where I think it's always a hard one to balance between playing your best roster and essentially resting players in games of this nature, especially cup competitions. There's a lot to be gained.
So what do you make of this? Amo, the goal scorer, coming off, as well as Malik Foster, who by far has been the most influential attacker for Indy 11.
I don't know what to make of that. In all honesty, as I spoke about, every time Foster got the ball in the attacking third, to me, he looked extremely dangerous. But maybe, you know, these guys are carrying injuries. Maybe they're only allowed to play a certain amount of minutes. Maybe these players coming in off the bench have fresh legs, fresh energy, and Sean McCauley sees a way for them to get that go-ahead goal.
Confirmation, the first cup set of the round. Pittsburgh have taken down New York City FC. Big result there for the Riverhounds, who have struggled in the league so far this year. Sloping in down the line. Looked like Murphy, who stepped in.
So from Philly to Rhode Island, we go. We got ourselves a game here. Ooh. Chuck, you worried for your Revs?
No, I want to see an entertaining game. For me, this is an incredible opportunity for Rhode Island. And a former Revs player right here, Zach Haribo, coming into the game. This is my teammate. To see him still going strong.
So Connell Smith, the manager, the head coach of Rhode Island SC, decides to make a change. Connell Smith actually played against Tony. Remember that one, Tone?
Oh, he knocked us out of the playoffs. Yeah, I remember. I still have a beef with Connell, although I really like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knocked us out of the playoffs. Snowy night in New England.
Yeah.
Snow coming down.
He scored the series-winning goal
Yes,
against
he
you,
did.
Tony.
Oh,
I know.
Really?
Yeah.
Revs
Where was
against
it? Where'd it
Metro
go?
In
Stars.
Gillette Stadium.
Where'd it go? Where'd
It was
the ball?
like a breakaway. A ball slipped through, went down. It was on my right side. He buried it in the post on the left side.
2005 Eastern Conference semifinal. It was an epic comeback. You guys, Tone, were up 2-0 on aggregate.
Yep.
Oof.
Did Yuri Zhorkaev score in that game?
He scored what was the 2-0 for
Yeah, I
you
remember
guys.
that goal.
Oh, that's when the Red Bulls had an opportunity to go to the finals. MLS Cup. They've never been to an MLS Cup final, right?
Well, yeah, the Metro Stars were. Red Bulls had. Yeah, that was a good team.
He's talking smack, Tone. Don't let him.
Fighting with him, Nico.
Ask him where his MVP trophy is.
we took care of the Red Bulls.
I let him
too in
borrow mine for a
2014.
little bit. Put it on his mantle. So he can have it behind him when we do Call It What You Want. You can see it.
Please, I love that.
I didn't need to score any goals to get MVP trophy. Chuck, what'd you do?
He had the most shutouts ever in a regular season. Are you kidding me? The only goalkeeper to win MVP in Major League Soccer.
Well, we didn't win that night. Kanu got the best of us.
Yeah.
We got the best of you. He scored 2 goals. They scored 2 goals past you.
3. I think it was 3-2.
Yeah, it was 3 in the second half. 3-2 was the final score. An epic night for the refs. And you know who assisted Connell Smith?
Michael Parkhurst.
No.
Steve Ralston.
No.
Taylor Twellman. Pat Noonan.
No, Pat Noonan scored.
Clint Dempsey.
Clint.
Clint.
Oh, just name the whole team while you're at it, Chuck. You started the night out so well, naming me a date out of nowhere from 2011.
I don't remember that goal, bro. This is a former Boston College Eagle down right now, Amos Shapiro Thompson. Looks like he's cramping. He's probably put in the shift.
Triple sub by Caleb Porter. All right, we're back at Q2 Stadium where El Paso Locomotive is already up 1-0 at Austin. They have the ball. They're charging forward.
The 11 could knock off Philadelphia Union as Pittsburgh would host. That is the case in the next round.
There was certainly contact there. Ref says nothing of it. And something here. Skip towards goal. And it beats Cleveland. The cup set train is picking up speed.
El Paso loving life. Their coach has won this tournament before as a Houston Dynamo coach, and now is leading El Paso into a nice little run here in US Open Cup, up 2-0 at the Q2, Grell.
Yeah, rock and roll football. They're a team that scores a lot of goals. They concede a lot of goals. They're not afraid. They look sharp. And then this is just the finish here. It's a really fantastic finish here from, is it Avila again who gets the finish?
Yeah, second one.
Second on the night. And
well, there you go.
They're flying right now away from home, making this look easy. They only got 2 losses in the last 11 games, so it's a team that's quite confident under Cabrera.
And they're unbeaten in their last 3 games played away. El Paso really feeling it. Tone, any questions for the backup goalkeeper?
Yeah,
Cleveland?
Stephen Cleveland, right? This kid that they were really high on in Seattle for years and comes over to Austin as the backup goalkeeper. He won't be happy. He's actually a really good goalkeeper. He won't be happy with that effort there. A moment like this, if you're going to win games like this, you got to have your goalkeeper make saves. It's not a bad finish, but as a goalkeeper, I want to take that one back, I'm sure.
Grell, trivia, pop quiz.
Here we go.
You know what city saw the birthplace of the skyscraper?
An American city?
Well, of course, we're doing the US Open Cup Golazo show. In 1885, it was the Home Insurance Building.
I'm going to go with Chicago.
St. Louis?
Hard not to say New York, but
Chicago.
Charlie.
1885, right outside in Bridgeview, where the Fire are up 2-0 against Detroit City.
So there's so much history where each side have had their fair share of either great comebacks in Detroit or some setbacks if you're Chicago. But they've only lost twice on this field in 35 tries in the Open Cup history during regulation. And so far, so good for the Fire. And here comes Bamba. Bamba on the full sprint. Cuts to the middle of the field. Lays it off. It is Glasgow curling it around. Glasgow opens his account with the Fire. The 21-year-old makes it 3 in the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Up in Bridgeview, their former home, and the Fire fans roll out the old logo. Pretty freaking epic. US Open Cup never lets me down. Round of 32, it looks like the Fire are going to the round of 16. A nice goal by Glasgow.
And Jonathan Bamba just driving at the back line. It's a well-weighted pass. You had your pick of the litter who wanted to take that finish, and it's a well-placed goal, far post. Job done.
Listen, Chicago Fire are winless this season in Soldier Field. They go back to Bridgeview and they get their first win of the season at home.
We talk about using the U.S. Open Cup to gain confidence. What about that? Home confidence. 3 goals at home. Keeping a clean sheet now is the next order of business, and Chicago Fire look like they figured something out here tonight.
Tony, you played 2 games with Chicago Fire head coach Greg Berhalter on the U.S. men's national team.
Is there a part to this question?
You know how many games you won?
How many we won?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
2 wins in 2 games.
Oh,
you know how many shutouts?
We should have played more together. I'm going to say 2. I don't know.
You got 1 shutout.
All right, 50%.
You know who? You know who ruined your shutout?
No. Give me the game. Can you give me the game that?
The Chinese national team, managed by Boda Milutinovic.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah.
Tony forgets all the losses. He remembers the wins, Tony.
You know how many games this guy's played?
Just the trophies, girl. I just remember the trophies. The rest of it's irrelevant to me. Only the ones in the end.
God, this guy's played so many games, and he's a goalkeeper. That noggin's been hit a lot.
And he's a goalkeeper.
He's gonna go over there and strangle you, Chuck.
You know how many balls have come? He's thrown his body all over the place.
Bell's been rung a few times for sure.
Yeah. You guys keep ringing it.
All right, let's take it to Energizer Park, where St. Louis is taking on Union Omaha. I see Union every time. I've done European football so much. I want to say Union Omaha. It's Union Omaha. No goals in this game. No goals, actually, in Union Omaha's last game at Forward Madison. A match in which they didn't take a single shot on target, sitting 12th in USL League One. They've only won a single game, but they've won 3
They took down Des Moines Menace too. Remember all these former players. So
yeah,
they have some resilience.
They were washed though. A lot of my boys were on that team. They were washed.
Des Moines was playing underwater. Detroit was playing. They were the Menace were underwater.
Tony, they called me before the game and they go, "You got any tips for us?" It was Miram and Bradley, right, Phillips, and I told them, I said, "Yeah, I got a tip for you. Put your stuff back on and go home."
Oh wow!
If you want to win.
Well, they did. They took your tip after the game.
They did.
All right, let's take it over to Philadelphia, where the 3-time U.S. Open Cup runners-up are playing the semifinalists from last season in the U.S. Open Cup. Indiana Vasilev, who was named to Team of the Match Day just this past weekend, is on. Let's see if they can get it done.
In the second half, yes. First half, no. It's going to be interesting to see if they're able to find a way. They continue to bring in stronger players as the game continues to try and get that equalizing goal. It's going to be interesting to see if they're able to get it done. But as we mentioned, a number of changes for Indy 11 especially up top, which changes the dynamic in which they approach. 2 heavier set players, more target strikers.
Here's Uwa. It was Vasilev who checked in. Uwa! And knocked in! But the flag is up. Baribo cut offside.
Huge let off there from Indy 11. They're just completely caught sleeping. The first attempt, drives forward, takes a shot from distance. Should have pressure, shouldn't have been able to get the shot from distance. It ricochets off the post, hits Baribo. He doesn't really know much about it and finds its way into the back of the net. Lucky enough, Baribo is in offside position and the goal ends up getting disallowed, but that's a wake-up call for Indy 11. They can't afford to fall asleep at any moment because the quality in the field has improved for Philadelphia, bringing in more of their starters.
Collier cutting his teeth quickly and cut away. It was Macania who was chasing it down, who immediately grabs at the back of his leg. Had to get in gear quickly there.
And this is where India 11 will become stronger from set pieces. Collier and Williams in the box, 2 physical players, very good in aerial battles. Great strike here from off the inside of the post. Baribo was just a couple yards offside. Linesman's flag went up nice and early.
Great job by our crew to give you the freeze frame to show Baribo out drifting into the offside position. It's in the rear view now, though.
Murphy with this in-swinging corner.
It's a useful ball. Falls away. Blake blocks. Macania was there.
Last season was Rhode Island's first ever season. The team founded 5 years ago, and they finished as USL Championship runners-up after finishing 5th in their conference, putting up quite the fight against the New England rivals.
And New England is clogging bodies in the middle of the area. Next time Rhode Island's in the attacking third, just take a glance at all the white shirts. 9 of them in that sequence that are all in the middle, making sure nothing gets through.
Hewson, lovely push and chase down this far side. Farrell recovers it for the Revs. That was a gutsy defensive play. Now can New England break up the other end? They just have not been in the flow a lot in this second half. Sanchez quickly recovers for Rhode Island.
How good is that? Rhode Island has been streaking all over the place, winning every 50-50 ball. They are going for it in the...
Let's head back to Subaru Park. There's a corner kick late in the game for Philly, taken short.
Something routines. Got over the head of Femu. The second ball from Uwa. He's going to carry out.
Pressure's building up a little bit now in favor of Philly again. You can see some of the Indy 11 players starting to get a little bit exhausted. They've got to manage the tempo of the game, and it ought to be that through just slowing things down a little bit, taking a little bit longer at restarts, or finding a way to keep possession of the ball themselves for a little bit. They're starting to run low on energy. The fresh legs from Philly are starting to overrun them a little bit.
Play is stopped. Yellow card was shown. It looked like Collier was grabbed back as he was running in behind. There was another defender back, so not any kind of questions about denial of a goal-scoring opportunity, and play allowed to continue. Try and get confirmation here in a moment on who exactly went in the book. Quinn. It's not all the way gone.
Not all the way gone, and I'm not sure there wasn't a little hand in there as well there.
There is no VAR. If this were an MLS game, they would probably take a look at that. But just a footnote now. It was Macania.
Flying over to the first U.S. city to host the modern Olympics in 1904. Ooh, Chuck drawing a blank. Where are we going, Chuck?
I'm going to go...
St. Louis.
Yeah, beat you to it. Here we are, Energizer Park. No goals between these two teams. Again, a 2-tier difference between St. Louis City and Union Omaha.
When limiting transitions, Silva from Betcher. Silva save Nuhu. Second save tonight for Rashid Nuhu.
And that was a terrifying counter.
And listen, you have to commit numbers forward here if you're Union Omaha. The problem is you have to stay organized after it's whipped in. Not the best of service, and they don't retreat quick enough. Well done to close down the space on the far side by Brett Coleman, but overindulged defensively on the near-sided transition. This is what you brought him in for, though. Jean De Silva thought maybe he might come back across the body, keeps the goalkeeper guessing. Quality save to keep it at 0-0.
Still a corner to defend. Leuven crossing, header away. Comes high toward frame, wide by Zielinski.
Yes, St. Louis City is winless in 7 games played, only scored 4 goals in that stretch, looking for their very first here. Tony, I'm going to ask you a bigger picture question about Olof Mellberg and the job he's done at St. Louis.
Yeah, we talked about this in the pregame show. It's a moment for Olof Mellberg where he's got to get things right. This is a St. Louis side that, okay, they struggled a little bit last year, but under John Hackworth, when he took over for Bradley Carnell, they started to get things right, and they actually made a run at the playoffs at the end. Olof Mellberg, first-year managers, come in now, and things just haven't been right with what a lot of people in and around Major League Soccer think is a fairly decent roster. So nights like this are really important for a manager just learning a new league.
St. Louis piling on the pressure here. And Union Omaha taking care of business defensively. Heading back over to Rhode Island. Going to the wire. Confirmation of a couple substitutions there. The 2007 U.S. Open Cup champions drawing 1-1 with Rhode Island FC.
Substitutions, at least in normal time. From the get-go, Diarbian gets right onto it here, plays it for Sands down the far side. Back to Diarbian, who crosses it into the middle. Oh, it goes off the post. Rebound is in. It's Cristiano Oliveira on the follow-up. And have New England rescued their Open Cup tie here. They've taken the lead for a second time after a misreading of the cross by Jackson Lee. The Revs lead for a second time in Rhode Island. It's 2-1.
Sometimes brutal for Rhode Island. Oliveira subbed on in the 75th minute mark. It took him 13 minutes, Chuck, to make his mark.
The 17-year-old, he's been one of the top talents coming out of the Revs Academy. In a good spot, crashes the box, and just puts it on target to give the Revs a much-needed goal. But this kid has been on a rocket ship playing with the youth national teams, and he's got a bright ceiling.
Tone, how many goals from teenagers?
Yeah, well, I was just thinking we need to do a bet next round of how many teenagers scored in this competition, because they're all getting a lot of. I think it's got to be 4 or 5 right now. Maybe we can get a count.
Oliveira is?
2 by Carvalho from Orlando. Yeah, we've got a couple tonight.
Wow, how old is this Oliveira kid?
I think he's 17. Charlie's 17, right?
How many, is he getting minutes for the first team?
No.
Wow.
Playing with Revs too.
All right, the game that actually saw 2 goals from Carvalho, 16, right?
Yeah.
4-0, Orlando. They've got a game against New England this weekend.
Bayo with a brace in the 34th and 36th minute of the first half. Ramiro Enrique, right before his 24th birthday this weekend, scored to make it 3-0 in the 42nd. And then Duncan McGuire, first goal since returning, is there's 5. And fitting that it's Dagger Dan Thoralson. He's been a pest.
Thorhalsson brings the ice to South Florida.
Dagger Dan, he's one of the workhorses for Oscar Pereja's side. Playing in the midfield tonight, has played in the back as well. I mean, this guy does a little bit of everything. Looks like Angulo's on the field now. There's the assist, and nice finish in the end. Poor defending by Tampa the entire night, but Dagger Dan getting himself a goal here. Doesn't score a lot, but this is a nice reward for what looks like a lot of hard work from him tonight.
And that's going to do it. Final score, Orlando City 5, Tampa Bay 0. Final minutes there. It looked like full time. Thorhalsen's second goal of the season. We might be going to extra time between Philly Union and Indy 11.
Half-courted clearance, another entry. Too much carriage at the back post. And at this point, you would imagine Indy 11 just happy to get across the line and collect themselves.
Yeah, for Indy 11, you want to stay in the fight as long as possible. They found a way to get themselves back into the game after a very lackluster first-half performance. They've had a decent second-half performance, and they're still going into the game, going into extra time.
Their first-round clash against Miami FC at home. They scored the latest goal in club history in the 123rd minute to take that 1-0 late. It was Hayden White who provided a header from a set piece. He actually wasn't even supposed to be up for it, just kind of went rogue and got in the mix. And it looks like for Indy 11 fans, well, at least we hope the fingernails grew back in the time off in between fixtures. Still time enough for maybe something to happen. Macania dicing with danger. Collier hot on his heels. It's given away. Murphy on the back heel. On the same page with Aiden Quinn. Sullivan. Well-weighted pass ahead. Carving forward. Baribo in, and Afemu steps in. Baribo again. And punched away at the near stick. One last go of it for Philadelphia Union. We're beyond the 6 minutes given.
Indy doing a good job here defending in the dying stages of the second half. Holding on to extra time. They're going to have to stay extremely focused. Probably the last kick before the ref blows for the end of regulation time.
Within swing. Punched away. Still there. And play is stopped for a foul. Looked like it was charting for an Olympico if the goalkeeper had not stepped in. Extra time appears to be inevitable now. Look at the watch. Off for Mario Williams. Collier has the size advantage. Strong hold-up play. It's worked wide. Stanley across the bow, and Andy Rick will cut it off. And they're going to keep going. Kevin Sullivan. Still Sullivan. And he is clattered. Hayden White had seen enough. And they're still playing. Bull in.
Deep into stoppage time right now.
Lukic. It's Shapley. It's jarred free. Vasilev. On and on we go. Rendon. And there's the line.
The response from Indy 11 in the second half has been magnificent. I think
we're headed to extra time in Philly. Kevin Sullivan going to full 90s. He's going to go 120, 15 years old.
That'd be some haul if he did.
All right, Minnesota United finishing this up. Final moments here. They're about to beat Louisville at Louisville in their first Open Cup game. This should do it. They have a game against Inter Miami at the weekend. Minnesota's second in the West against Inter Miami. And Joshua Encarnacion, the referee, says that is it. How do you see Minnesota's chances against Inter Miami, Charlie?
I think it's going to be a good matchup. Inter Miami, they're a team that needs to start putting wins together. You know, that crashing out of CONCACAF Champions Cup really hurt them. So they've been they're a little wobbly right now.
This is Minnesota's 6th game unbeaten on the road. Pretty impressive. Let's see how they do at home, though, against Inter Miami. Remember, it was last season, right, that they were so good on the road, Minnesota United, but not that great at home, or was that the season before? I don't remember. All right, final moments here. What is there, a free kick? What's going on here? I know there's man down, but everyone's huddled around the referee like something's going to happen inside of the box.
Looks like someone's down injured here, Nico. Oh, yeah, maybe some talking too.
Now, the body language of the players isn't giving...
What's it giving you?
Just someone injured. It's giving something controversial was called.
But it was Diarbian who was able to come on and delivered the cross and has been all over the place. That led to this 2-1 advantage for New England. You don't apologize for it, you get out of town, you picked up a hard-earned victory.
Well, the good news for Rhode Island is they should get possession out of this injury stoppage here. The bad news is there's not a lot of time left, maybe 40 seconds. So if it's gonna happen for Rhode Island, if they're gonna rescue it here, it's gotta happen very, very quickly.
Mapika, he's the target here. That 6'5" frame. Just missed him on a previous set piece earlier in this half. And he's lined up to the right of the penalty arc. He'll be making a run to the back post.
It'll be a drop ball for Jackson Lee, who's come all the way up. Now or never for Rhode Island in their Open Cup dreams here. Holstead clips it into the penalty area. Bono comes for it and collects it.
Bono read that the entire way. That is great goalkeeping. A very sure catch high up into the air. He's in no hurry to distribute.
All eyes are going to be on Kalen Radisov over these next few moments. Rhode Island have to win the ball back here. Sanchez pops it up into the air. Diarbian loses out to Holstead. Back for Lee. And that is it. Full time in Pawtucket. New England survive.
So the Revs into the round of 16 of the U.S. Open Cup. This weekend they've got a game at Orlando, a team who just won 5-0 at Tampa Bay, who are also through to the round of 16. We got a cup set in Pittsburgh Riverhounds against New York City FC, but we're taking a break. We'll be right back with more Golazo Show in the U.S. Open Cup. We're back here on the Golazo Show, but before we get out to the action, Jurgen Klinsmann is on Call It What You Want, Thursday at 11 a.m. Chuck.
I can't wait. Tomorrow, Tony, myself, Jimmy Conrad, we're going to have a great conversation with Jurgen and this current U.S. men's national team and just hearing what he thinks about, Mauricio Pochettino and his transition into the international game.
So from one former USMNT coach to another, we take it to SeatGeek Stadium where Chicago Fire is up 3-0 against Danny Dichio's Detroit City.
Well, entering the night, roughly a third of matches so far of the 69 played entering the evening had gone to extra time. And the home team, 37 wins, 32 losses. in that window of time. But tonight, the home team here in Chicago have held serve, and so far no games have needed extra time, but Philadelphia Indy changing that. Gutierrez is here. It's over, and it is Haile Selassie finishing this one off. A fourth. A man that has 2 assists in this game gets a goal for his own to make it 4-0 for the Fire.
So Haile Selassie making it 4-0.
Yeah, Haile Selassie getting on the end of this, but how about the patience by Brian Gutierrez, who came on as a substitute here, gets in front of the goal, has a look, and this is a turnover at midfield. Acosta with the through ball, finding Gutierrez, he cuts inside. This makes easy work of it in the end for Haile Selassie to make it 4-0.
It's a good team goal. The unselfishness, the good runs, and I love the fact that they're scoring goals, but they're not finished with the effort to get up front and continue to play the Chicago Fire football that Greg Berhalter wants them to play.
That's the best time to play, when you're up 4-0 and everything is easy.
Was that the old logo there?
Yeah,
that they unveiled?
In their old stadium.
Good for them. Love it.
I mean, how many brand changes did the Chicago Fire go through? And ultimately, the fans are rolling out the old logo. They rolled it out after the 2-0. Meanwhile, in Dallas, Eric Quill's side is already up 2-1 against AV Alta, whose pretty long U.S. Open Cup journey looks like it's ending here. They had played 3 games before this. They finally arrived up against, there's 20 minutes left. We'll see how it plays out.
See, Dallas attacks, Kamungo scores! Off the cross! Bernard Kamungo. And it's a 2-goal lead for the MLS side.
Well, as we are praising AV Alta for getting forward, straight down the pitch, the ball comes the other way, and that could be the goal that really puts this game to rest for FC Dallas. Nice play here. Ball played in so perfectly for Kamungo to stick that in the back of the net. It's got lovely weighting on it from Shaw, absolutely perfect weighting on it, and Kamungo back of the net. And it is a good timing because they were just beginning to get into this match, AV Alta, just beginning to take some risks, and they got caught in transition. And that really should be it now. Dallas should be pretty much able to give that young man there the chance of a next round match against New York Red Bulls.
All right, there's the first goal of the season for Kamungo. I thought there was much less time in here. I got confused. But now it looks like it could be over. Dallas against AV Alta.
Yeah, you're talking about Kamungo. If you know his story, a Tanzanian refugee in 2016 when he was 14 years old, comes over. They call him the Abilene Dream. Came over to Abilene, Texas, and recently signed a 3-year extension. So you have an idea of what they think about him. It's just an incredible, if you haven't read it, go read the story about Bernard Kamungo. It is amazing to see where he's come. Started all the way with the North Texas side. I believe he played for Eric Quill when Eric Quill was coaching in North Texas. Wow. And now he's playing in the first team for Eric Quill. So they're a really amazing story.
That's sensational. Charlie, it's getting hot in here, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
So we go to the birthplace of Nelly, where St. Louis and Union Omaha tied at 0.
Appeal for handball. Referee instantly says no. Comes out for a blast. Let's go! Oh, wow! His first pro game! A stunner of a goal! His first game for the first team, and Joey Zielinski lights up Energizer Park.
A mid-distance sniper from Joey Zielinski.
Joey Zielinski from the great state of New Jersey. Zielinski, the 22-year-old, heard Mike Watts there on the call. His first professional game starting as a left back. How about that for a strike? Goalkeeper in the end's got a little bit better work to do, but Zielinski won't care much about it here.
I know you're trying to avoid the keeper situation, but Rashid
No, I'm talking about the great state of New Jersey. Joey Zielinski had a great goal.
Rashid knew
What are you talking about? Come on, Charlie.
Tony, you know.
Charlie, address the elephant in the room, please.
Charlie, you never forget your first. Zielinski won't forget it.
Yeah, that's true. Great goal.
Tony from Jersey backing up Joey from Jersey.
All right, extra time has begun almost 10 minutes ago at Subaru Park. Indy 11 is onto something, guys. Who's got the cup set here?
But it's all really come from crosses. None of that central penetration, the really high value shot attempts. Harriel and Wagner, room to cross, he's dangerous. Well tracked with the ball in flight. Here's Charles Cook, probably the man of the match so far for Indy 11.
Yeah, most certainly in it. I think the hardest part for Indy 11 is as the game goes on, the substitutions that Philadelphia Union have made them get stronger. Normally, the players coming in off the bench are not as strong as your starting 11, but it was quite the reverse tonight. They started with a lot of players who were lacking minutes, and the players who were playing a lot more minutes were coming in off the bench. So the temperature and the heat has actually turned up on Indy 11 as the game has continued. But they're doing well. As I said, they're competing well right now. They've got nothing to hang their heads about in shame whatsoever in terms of how they approach the second half.
Uprooting tackle from Lukic. In the back heel. Sullivan. Room to roll. Sullivan. End product elusive again. Didn't look like he and Baribo were on the same page. Another go though. Kevin Sullivan is trying to play the unlocking pass.
While the pass gets blocked, you can appreciate the idea of what he was trying to do. He saw the run. He tried to play the killer pass, and you need players who are willing to take those risks and have the ability and the vision and can actually see those runs and release the ball at the right time. And he keeps prodding. If you continue to look, he keeps finding spaces, keeps getting on the ball. He always wants the ball.
And it feels like as the game has gotten tighter, more dramatic and tougher, he's loosened up almost.
Yeah, again, it doesn't feel... If you were completely blind and you were not aware of any of the noise, you wouldn't think you were watching a 15-year-old out there tonight for Philadelphia Union. You just think he's the same as any of the other players on the field.
Vasilev, his shot is blocked. It falls for Kevin Sullivan, who creams it high. And he pulls up with a bit of a wobble.
If you didn't have your name in lights already, that was the moment. Find your way into the box in the dying stage of extra time. Great first touch. He just needs to go across the goalkeeper with this strike, and I think he buries it and gets his team the winning goal. Just go across the goalkeeper. Goes for a power high and wide at the near, and doesn't make the goalkeeper make a save on it. It's an occasion. Charles Cook will be happy to see that one skied over his crossbar, but really and truthfully, as a fantastic opportunity that really should have been in the back of the net. Another very good opportunity for Philadelphia Union to take the lead.
I'll tell you this, it was an eternal second after that first touch. And the ball was going to sit up to be stricken. Sullivan did pull up with a little bit of a limp. Again, important because there are no substitutions to make for Union.
And sometimes you could say it's unlucky it wasn't our day. I don't think that's the case. It just needed a little bit more composure in the final third, in those final opportunities from Philadelphia to put this game to bed. The chances that they've had, they kind of been swung at a little bit rushed. Just a little bit more composure in the final pass or the final shot, and the opportunities they've had would have been converted. So I don't think it's a case of them not getting lucky. I think it's just a case of just needing to be a little bit more efficient in front of goal.
Decent ball over the head of Musa. Wasn't all the way off the mark. As Aiden Stanley reared back.
Hey, Chief, you know where Willie Nelson was born?
I do.
Where?
He was born in Dallas.
Incorrect.
Louisville.
Austin, Texas.
Oh, I knew I was close.
El Paso up 2-0. Looking for a third.
Hindsight. Perfectly timed slide by the captain. Listen, any coach can say what you want to say, what they want to say, Mark, but the fact is, come into a game like this with two teams in completely different form and amount of levels sometimes. Get the momentum going with El Paso and the momentum going the other way, unfortunately, with Austin. No matter what competition is, you're still same squad, same home pitch.
Ruiz. Back to Calvillo. Ruiz on that right-hand side, excuse me, left-hand side, passes it right. Calvillo searching for Akwe, won't reach him. Ukari from the right wing. Now that one tapped away by Ruiz, and he'll escape with it. And what do we have coming here? Cabrera takes the shot himself. Off target.
El Paso is blazing through Austin FC in the city that saw the birth of Willie Nelson. And Austin FC needs to make a couple of substitutions. Nico Estevez going to the bench, Grell.
Yeah, Austin looked big and slow and predictable. And then on the flip side, it's El Paso that looks sharp and creating chances. They look like they're playing with a smile on their face. They've stretched Austin all over the place. 2 goals already, and they look fantastic. Fun to watch.
I got to give a lot of credit to Wilmer Cabrera, because this is a proper football side. They look like the MLS side, and Austin looks like the USL side.
You've been watching too much that 70s show.
Well, he's a friend of mine.
He's a friend of yours. All right, so full time in Bridgeview. Chicago Fire get their first home win of the season, Tone, and it comes away from home in SeatGeek Stadium.
Yeah, this wasn't much of a game here. I think Greg Berhalter's side approached this in the right way. They got the goals they needed to get out of there, and now they'll play New England Revolution, it looks like, in the next round.
Yep. Chicago has a game in Soldier Field this weekend against Atlanta United. Then a trip to Charlotte. Let's see if they unveil that logo next time out in the U.S. Open Cup. After 2 match days. We take it back to Toyota Stadium in Frisco. Dallas, minutes away from going through to the next round. They've got a game against RSL at the weekend. AV Alta, who didn't play this weekend, their game against Naples got postponed because of travel issues. Their next game in USL League One is against Texoma.
It's not just putting in the right position, it's actually, it ends up being a beautiful pass as well. So lovely bit of skill there from Pedrinho.
3 minutes left. Stoppage time now. It's round of 32 game between AV Alta of USL League One and FC Dallas, MLS team. Norris.
He's not happy. He thought he should have got the free kick, and then he's angry there was a free kick given against him. So fortunately for his side, he's got that 2-goal cushion, so it's not the end of the world.
A little bit of hope now for AV Alta. Just a couple minutes left, but a free kick. Blancos will take this with Martinez out of the game. Just a warning, some pushing and shoving going on. Blancos straight to goal. And it drops in, still in play.
Tallest monument in the U.S.
Huh. You all right? We're going to St. Louis, huh?
to the Gateway Arch, 630 feet high in the air. Very nearby, Energy Park. 1-0 lead for St. Louis City.
Up the line, Baumgartel slowed it, didn't stop it. Didn't sneak through for Bronick. Now the run out is on, if Bronick can get there. Tremendous from Wallum. Spinning free at the halfway line. Toyshirt. Ball blasted in! Klaus, the dagger! If there is any
Klaus, second goal of the season, second goal of the game here for St. Louis and Union Omaha. After a decent little run in the U.S. Open Cup, is saying goodbye. 4 minutes to the end, and it's the Brazilian. He's like Brazilian-German, right?
Looks like Grella's twin.
Makes it 2-0 for St. Louis.
Oh boy. I'll take the finish though. When you talk about being my twin, this is a moment in transition, and then here he's a born finisher, and this one he just slams into the far post. Gets the second goal. They needed it. We're talking about Mellberg maybe being in a pressure situation now, winless in the last 7 for them. So this is a good moment for Klaus, good moment for St. Louis City.
Good finish, Grell. Nice job.
Come on, I got a little more up top than that.
Union Omaha's next game is against Portland Hearts of Pine. This weekend, St. Louis against San Diego FC here.
Oh, it's another one.
Oh boy, they got the hard part down. Pretty, almost really pretty finish.
All right, so maybe they could use this St. Louis to kind of get their act together in Major League Soccer, Tony.
Yeah, they got to find some rhythm because what'd you say? No wins in last 7?
Last 7.
Yeah, winless in 7, where they've only scored 4 goals.
Looks like St. Louis is going to avenge Des Moines Menace.
I mean, funny enough, St. Louis City faced Union Omaha in the 3rd round of the 2023 U.S. Open Cup, and they won 5-1 here. It's only their 3rd ever U.S. Open Cup game. Final moments, and it's over. This past weekend, Carly Lloyd, Nick Raimondo, Chris Armas, Mary Harvey, Mark Abbott, Bob Lee inducted into the National Soccer Hall of Fame just right there in Frisco, Texas. Days later, in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, FC Dallas is through after beating AV Alta. They got a game against RSL this weekend. One elimination in the last 11 games played at home in U.S. Open Cup for Dallas. And as all our other games are wrapping up, we're about to have only 2 simultaneous games. Philadelphia Union against Indy 11. Second half of extra time already going on. It feels like this is going to go. We're pushing for pens at this point, Grell.
Yeah, the game's become a little bit stagnant in Philadelphia Union. The one that probably should be pushing the pace hasn't been able to do it against an organized Indy 11. And Indy 11 that, like we said earlier, they're okay without the football. And they're physical and they're strong and organized in most situations. So this game has just fallen all the onus on Philadelphia Union, and they haven't been able to push it yet.
In the 11, 2 wins in their last 7 games played this season. They beat Miami in U.S. Open Cup. They also beat Forward Madison away.
Goes away.
And he probably saves a lot of PKs in training. That's why they know he's the go-to guy at that moment.
Good turn from Lukic. Westfield. How to get that ball free. Bedoya. Ale Bedoya cutting back in for Westfield. Frankie Westfield has it blocked again. A punch away. Less than confirmed. Wagner! Audacity on the half volley.
Charles Cook punches this one. I thought maybe he could have caught this one and kept his team in possession, but the effort from Wagner is pretty spectacular.
I think some of the Union players thought that there may have been something that happened in the box.
This one, I thought Cook could have caught it. He punches it away. But Wagner, with the quality he has in that left foot, doesn't even hesitate pulling the trigger. He feels this should have been a corner. Feels there was a deflection in there somewhere, and he may be right.
You know what? I think that may have been charting to the back of the net. Now, even if there was VAR, I don't believe that they could even revisit that. Corner decisions. So it's all up to history now. Musa. Vasilev has hold. Indiana Vasilev. Stabbed away. Bedoya wrapping one in towards Sullivan. Harriel now. Strong touches from the center back and still on it. Nathan Harriel, it's blocked again.
Philadelphia giving Indy 11 no time to rest in possession of the ball. If you're not quick to it, if you turn your back on it, you don't check your shoulders, they're on you, they're pressing you, they're putting you under pressure, winning those balls and attacking relentlessly.
Vasilev requiring some attention. May have taken one in the ribs as he tried to slice himself free in the box. He'll have to carry on. A long throw. Lukic. Left-footed ball. The flag is going to pop up.
Just 8 minutes remaining for Indy to hang on to go to PKs, which could be their best chance of advancing right now, given the amount of pressure that they're having to withstand.
How do you think Columbus Crew is at home watching this? That will be the fixture at the weekend, a clash of the top two teams in the MLS Eastern Conference. Running on to one, Aiden Quinn. Now Aiden Stanley. A sculpted ball, it falls! Rick! A fingertip away, it's that close!
That's the danger that Stanley provides when he's that high up the field with the quality that he has in that left foot, those deep curling balls into the box. Obviously, you know about Collier's aerial ability, but a fantastic opportunity there for Indy 11 to steal the winning goal. Brilliant save. Turned out to be a brilliant save from Rick in the end. Great ball from Stanley. Collier just attacks. He probably doesn't head it as clean as he'd like to. It hits the top of his head rather than his forehead. Rick finds a way to...
Great diving header. Even better save from goalkeeper Rick.
Yeah, that was a really good ball played in by Aiden Stanley. Played it in all through our youth national team system. Most recently in Miami with Miami FC in the league. Comes over here in Indy 11. Rick with a really good save off the header.
St. Louis has finished, by the way. They have won 2-0. Free kick, Union.
Little trickles into the midst.
Just trying to work that space for Wagner to get the opportunity to strike the ball in his left foot. And you know he's not shy at all. He just wants this time and space anywhere around the 18-yard box, in or outside, to pull the trigger. And he knows he has the quality to convert.
A mile high. Trying to melt off every possible second. Inspecting ball in behind. The second one is won by Lukic, and now Sullivan scanning the scene. A twist and a twirl. Lukic in space. Jovan Lukic sliding one through. Vasilev, what a save! Bedoya bouncing away.
The pass, the timing of the run, absolute perfection. Cut through Indy 11 like a knife through butter. But again, Charles Cook comes up absolutely massive in goal. Lacking the ability to convert. from yards out from goal, but the through pass and the timing of the run, absolutely magical.
What a ball, what a save.
Vasilev just needs to direct this more to the corner. The finish is just a little too central.
Threat is not over, though.
There's no doubt that Philadelphia have had the chances to run away with this game. Just not been clinical in the final third. The 11 have done well.
Familiarity breeds contempt, and these two sides have gotten mighty familiar over the last 115 minutes. Without swing. A knock on, settled by Harriel. Macania. Lukic. Another block from Aiden Quinn. Really knocked over the referee. In fact, it did.
Ref's taking a tumble there.
And the red side of this tire off to the races. Snuffed out by Lukic, a trailing leg from Aiden Quinn.
Let's head over to the Valley of the Sun. We're just getting started. Phoenix rising, not doing so hot at the moment in USL Championship, near the bottom of their conference. Houston Dynamo as well, towards the bottom of their conference in Major League Soccer. What do these teams need, Tony, in this game?
Yeah, you mentioned it. Two teams that are struggling a little bit. You got a Ben Olsen side on for Houston. That's Lodero with the corner.
Ooh.
Oh boy, bouncing around here. Maybe a shot on goal for Ben Olsen's side. Obviously, as a manager, Ben Olsen has won this once.
Against Inter Miami.
Yep, with DC United.
I won it with Houston as well. All right, from one Texas team to the other, no? This is not Austin.
Oh, this is the sniper from Joey.
Yeah, this is the St. Louis goal. It's just so nice we need to watch it twice. We do take it, though, to Austin, where El Paso Locomotive is up 2-0. This is going to be a proper cup set, a team that got played off the park by El Paso, unless Austin has something to say.
Ooh.
Commentator's curse.
Something to say?
Don't speak too soon, Nico.
Brandon Vasquez.
There he is.
He started. Third goal of the season for Brandon Vasquez.
Really cool place to watch a game. Really cool place. Great stadium, great energy. The lights go on and off when they score. Vasquez, accomplished goal scorer in the MLS, and they get one back here, and they needed one back here. Important. You see there, you've got to play to the final whistle. There's a foul there. They don't call it, and then this through ball, such a striker's goal, running through at the right time. And then just getting something on it right here. Just, he knows where the goal is, never looks up, knows where it is. Great finish from Vasquez.
It did look like Ilya Sanchez went through the player, and they had a right to look for a foul, but like you said, played to the whistle.
All right, final 2 minutes before Pens, possibly a cup set in the 11 that already beat Miami FC with an 123rd minute winner by White. Maybe they could do the same before Pens.
So here's Cam Lindley stepping up. He provided the assist that won them the match in the last round of the Open Cup. There's more magic in those boots. Lindley, the veteran. Will roll out for a throw. And the big gun, known as James Musa, will fashion himself the catapult to get it in. A stiff header, a ball across the bow, and bouncing out.
Into the final 60 seconds now of extra time.
In their second ever participation in the U.S. Open Cup, Austin FC found themselves down 2-0 to El Paso Locomotive, but Brandon Vasquez has just found the goal to get them back and the fans into this game.
He's created a ton of chances. Unfortunately, many of his teammates haven't put them away in MLS play this season. On that goal there, exactly what Owen Wolf can do. Just creativity, quick thinking, keeping it simple.
We've got 2 balls on the pitch, which is not exactly how the sport is played.
Phoenix and Houston underway. And the other game going on is that Philadelphia Union, the 11 game, about to get to the end of extra time.
That one chested down. Austin FC! They're back level! Mirto Uzuni sends the crowd ablaze.
The Albanian Mirto Uzuni, Route 1 football, gets Austin FC back into this game. Long ball over the top. Brandon Vasquez sets it on a silver platter, Grell.
Yeah, big man, little man, right? Knocks it down, and then the finish was top quality from Uzuni there. Get themselves back into the game. Nico, you said there was another cup set. Not yet.
There's another corner. Final seconds here. 1 minute of stoppage time. So about 6 seconds left. We're going to pens.
Let's go. Wagner from deep. The punch takes us to penalties.
Keep it going.
So we're going to penalty kicks. Bradley Cornell's side against Sean McCauley's side. You guys fancy anybody here?
If Andre Blake was in goal, we already know who would be favoring, but I think this is up for grabs.
All right, AQ2 up for grabs as well. El Paso started out leading. Austin came back right into it. As a reminder, El Paso unbeaten in their last 3 games played away.
Where's El Paso?
No!
Oh, my God! Talk about losing your shape. Vasquez again. Oh, boy. Where was El Paso? Where were they? And Vasquez just having a good time now, having a field day, and maybe now showing the level of El Paso compared to an MLS side. Vasquez making the difference, but that's as easy as you like. I think it was 6v3 there at some point, with Austin just having their way. And I don't know how quick of succession goals that was.
6 minutes it looks like, Grell. 6 minutes, 3
lightning
goals.
striking 3 times, and the last time I can remember watching a game that happened was Liverpool-Milan in the Champions League final.
Yeah.
6 minutes, 3 goals.
I forgot that one. Looks like Owen Wolf with the cross there, huh? Great ball in. Vasquez just had to steer it on frame. Maybe a little bit of frustration here. He's been hearing it from the fans in Austin.
Is that Josh Wolf's son?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, 4th assist on the season for him.
Listen, for El Paso, this is the furthest that they've ever progressed in U.S. Open Cup, a team that was just founded 7 years ago. Learning experiences, right? They looked good, up 2-0. Convinced me.
I told you, rock and roll football, they score a ton, but they also conceded a ton. 21st out of 24 teams in the USL Championship. So they're a team that goes for it, play attractive football. But late in games, I think they lose their shape, and they don't keep many clean sheets.
10 minutes to go.
Talk about a collapse here.
Charlie, you talked about it, right? These teams in the end, they run out of gas sometimes, and I think that's where they maybe get steamrolled in the end. But what a good performance by El Paso here for about 70 minutes. Played some entertaining football.
So we're heading to penalty kicks. Philadelphia Union against Indy 11. Anybody want the Cups to happen?
Well, this is my former club, the Union, so I'm not going to root against them here.
Weak.
No. I love a good cup set, but not against the Union.
I'd love to see a cup set here. I mean, it's against Bradley Cornell, who I spent some time with, but I'd love to see. I'd love to see it just because I thought Indy did it in a different way. They did it in the Ali Trost Martin way, right? Hang around, be tough to beat, be resilient. They get through on a last-minute goal. They hang around here with Philadelphia Union, second in the East, so not an easy thing to do.
The Ali Trost Martin way, right? Get stuck in the elevator.
Be patient. Let the game go longer and longer. Yeah, stuck in the elevator this week, by the way.
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
She's a trooper.
Yeah. Well, it's a big room for her. There's a lot of space in there for her. Allie's small.
In the 11 semi-finalists last season of the U.S. Open Cup, they ended up losing to Sporting KC, but their run included victories over Atlanta United, Detroit City, San Antonio FC, and Chicago Fire 2. Who's going to take the first kick? It looks like it's going to be in the 11.
As well, in that last period of play, made a couple of unbelievable stops to drag a couple goals back, and he's earned the opportunity to maybe win the thing, guarding the goal on the line. It will be Romario Williams to go first.
I'm not sure Williams had a shot during open play. This may be his first shot since he entered the game. Could be a very important shot.
Romario Williams with a short run after a long game for Indy 11. Just sneaks it in.
The Jamaican international hasn't scored all season long, and he's got Indy 11 up 1-0.
It's crucial. You're the first penalty taker for your club. You want to set this off on the right foot, and this is one of those that we saw today from Vitinha. I think Rick did a good job of holding his place, and he just can't get there. But it's a well-taken pen. In the end, Romario Williams put enough pace behind it.
Against Indy Vasilev, it's Indy 11.
Now, since the start with St. Louis.
Cook is brimming with confidence after his performance tonight. Let's see if he can continue it into PKs.
Indiana Vasilev once more sneaks it in.
Good pen, Grell.
Yeah, low. For me, it's always been low and crisp to the corner, right? I don't play games with going up there into the top corners under pressure. It's easy to make a mistake, and these are just good. If you hit them, I mean, that's not even really that much in the corner, and it's still difficult for the goalkeeper to get down that low and save it. Good first two penalties.
It's going to be Blake for Indy 11.
The captain being saved for later in the shootout.
Short run up here from Blake.
James Blake. Snatched.
No mistake. Straight down the middle of the goal.
The Scotsman. Cold blood.
Cold blood. Tony, how do you feel when you're in a penalty kick shootout and the players go down the middle? Is that really difficult?
Yeah. There's three options, right, for the goalkeeper. Stand down the middle, which is the hardest thing to do, and then right or left, right? Those are your three options. And I always say, if you're going to hit it down the middle, hit it high, because if the goalkeeper drags his feet a little bit, Baribo's stepping up here, and that's a pretty good penalty kick. Goalkeeper Reese Charles Cook, a good dive, but Baribo, who started the season on fire, slowed down here a little bit. Saw him on the bench for a couple games, buries this one, makes nice work of it.
He's the top goal scorer in MLS. He scored 6 goals in the opening 3 MLS games, but he scored 1 goal in his last 7.
This is Aiden Quinn stepping up here.
He looks a little nervous.
Well, this guy's been around for a while here. I played with his dad on the national team, Brian Quinn. He's been around this league for a while.
Oh, what a save. Rick.
Big save here.
I could tell. Came up to the spot nervous.
See, I wouldn't have thought so. This is a guy with a lot of experience in the league, and he just...
Really bad penalty.
It is it's a great height for the goalkeeper. If you're a goalkeeper, this is the height you want. You want it in your eyeballs.
The run-up, right?
Yeah.
The run-up is so predictable, I feel like.
That's why the stutter step is so hard for the goalkeeper, because you can get a timing on this one.
Penalty for Philadelphia.
Frankie Westfield.
A teenage kick. Simple, sublime.
Westfield, 19 years old, sending the goalkeeper, former Arsenal Academy, the other way.
It's a proper pen. Sends the keeper the wrong way, but he saw him leaning that way. I don't think he necessarily needed to put it right in the corner. It's a well-taken pen, calm, composed.
Cam Lindley, is this Cam Lindley stepping up? Yeah, ex-youth national team player through the entire youth national team system.
Big pen here.
Lindley, catastrophically calm.
I didn't see it.
All right, so Philly going for their fourth now. Goalkeeper sent the other way.
There's the stutter that Meola's talking about there.
It's
and
hard
it does
for the goalkeeper. Look at the goalkeeper. It's so hard, Grella.
It's like a lifeless dive.
Yeah.
It's like a lifeless guess of a dive.
It's painful.
It's hopeless.
Yeah, hopeless. It's limp.
Raffanello to take.
Raffanello, another kid that's come through the youth national team system. He went to Penn State, right, for a little bit.
Here he comes. Buries it. Now Indy 11 must convert to keep this tie alive.
All the pressure's on the fifth shot, and this is just also one of those opportunities where you step up, you know the keeper is going to a side.
See that, Charlie? If he hits that one low, the goalkeeper's legs are still dragging. He's got to get that over the goalkeeper. It's a nice job by Raffanello.
Aiden Stanley to take the left back.
Again, another youth national team player that's been brought into this side by Sean McCauley.
If he does not convert,
Duke, your Duke guy right here.
Philly Union are through to the next round.
Whoa! That's for Duke. That's a Blue Devil.
That's a blue blood right there.
Well done,
That's a blue blood right there.
That is a golazo from a penalty kick spot if I've ever seen one. And now Philadelphia Union, if they score, they are through to the round 16 of the U.S. Open Cup.
Who's the fifth taker? Okay, Lukic. Can Reese Charles Cook come up with the goods?
What's going on here?
Getting heated in the center circle.
I think Aiden Stanley motioned to the fans, and Kai Wagner, who pretty much has a fight every game with somebody, didn't you could see him there talking to Aiden Stanley. He didn't take too kindly to whatever motion Aiden Stanley said to the fans behind the goal.
Well, it's a big one.
Put some more pressure on Lukic.
He's going right.
Froze Lukic there a little bit at the spot.
He's going right.
Ice your own kicker, perhaps?
Going left. He's going goalkeeper's right.
Oh! Posted in. Philadelphia Union are through to the round of 16. It took them 120 minutes and a penalty kick shootout, but they are there. The one-time MLS Cup runners-up and the three-time U.S. Open Cup runners-up want to make a deep run. This is their first game. In this edition, they are through to the next round.
Again, this is that stutter step, freezes the goalkeeper just enough. And he just has to take that little stutter step before he dives, or I think maybe he gets that one in some afters here.
And Romario Williams getting in it with Kai Wagner.
Yep.
So Philly through to the next round. They survived. And that's another USL Championship team out. All right, let's head over to Phoenix, see what's going on. 15 minutes in, still no goals.
Phoenix rising. Barking out in his 6-yard area there, Rakowski. Lodeiro has plenty of space to aim into, but he's a target. Will lift it in and popping up with the header. And there's the goal. Felipe Andrade, the player who's only called into the team earlier today, nods in the delivery from Lodeiro, and Houston lead by a goal to 0 in Phoenix. Fantastic delivery.
And what a ball from Lodeiro, the former Fluminense kid, gets his first goal for Houston.
It's a great header to the far post. The ball brilliantly curved right into the path. Far post. Keeper, could he come out, Tony?
It's a tough one to come out. Passes a lot. You know, it's an in-swinger like that. You're kind of frozen. There's not a lot of air under that ball. You got to make that read within the 1 yard of that coming off the foot. And once you make a decision not to come, you've got to stick to it. But it's a great ball. But Charlie, to your point, I always say on free kicks, make the goalkeeper make a decision. If you put it too high, you take the decision out. They come out and get it. If you put it too low, you take the decision out, right? Because you don't come.
Right.
Now you put it in that area and you give the goalkeeper something to think about.
All right, let's head over to the Austin, Texas Q2 Stadium. Final moments there. Austin was down 2-0. There's 3 minutes left. El Paso going the other way, trying to salvage something.
An up and down start this season.
Memo Diaz gets by one defender. Diaz drags it inside.
It went off, or looked like it went off an arm, but the player was on the ground.
Appeals for handball, but the referee's saying it was the supporting hand. Controversy towards the end, and whenever there's controversy, we bring in our resident laws expert, Christina Uncle. We have her on speed dial. Unc, what'd you make of this?
Oh, definitely want a couple more replays on that one. Not sure if it fully impacted his hand. And to your point, is it supporting or is it not, or is he landing to it? So when we have this conversation, hopefully, here we go. We'll see it right now. Ooh, did he extend his arm out? So now there is that conversation of, is this a supporting arm that's bracing himself? And that's typically interpreted when you are sliding towards it, not when you've kind of extended and overreached and made yourself bigger. I actually would want a penalty kick on that one based on that view that I did see.
Ooh, no VAR here. El
Won't be
Paso.
happening in El Paso.
Getting the short end of the stick there. These are one of the situations where you say you want VAR. Ooh, Houston. It's making it 2-0. And we're back over in Austin as this game is finishing up. 30 seconds left. The Golazo show is also coming to an end. And we take a look at our goal count. We predicted how many goals? Oh,
disgusting.
Boy. Oh, boy. You guys went high. But hold up, it ain't over yet, man. It ain't over yet.
It's over.
Until the fat lady sings. Look at El Paso going the other way.
You got it. It's over.
Oh boy, do I want the cup set, or do I want to hit the goal count here?
Yeah, I don't know. Is that total right? I'm not great at quick math, but if we're doing 8 of these games, I'm not quite sure that we got this one right.
You tell him, Tony.
And that is it.
I'm just looking at it, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the first ever U.S. Open Cup Golazo show, I retire champion. It's been a pleasure doing this Golazo show with Charlie Davies, Mike Grella, Tony Meola. I'm Nico Cantor. Stay with us here throughout the night.